Great weekend all the way around. The college football was sensational. A lot of changes going on there. The coaching carousel is in full swing. I mean, it's like one of those carny rides where they lost control of the thing and it's just going round and round and round and round and round. Okay, everybody get off when you can. No, when you can. I used to read the headlines in the racing forum. It was always great because the headlines were so archaic. I mean, they were just paying token homage to the idea that kind of like some of the public service announcements that you hear various radio stations play. I mean, they're obligated to do it by FCC regulations that were written when the Magna Carta came out. Do you really feel in your heart of hearts, having been in radio as long as you were, that the general philosophy of the radio station, go ahead and honor a commitment to do things that were beneficial to the local community? No. All they wanted to know, hey, is Zimmerman going to spill the beans on that account for the casino?
That's all they cared about.
The time. Wake up with Defo, joined by Lubie. Welcome to the Defo Show.
On a beautiful Thursday here in South Florida, where we originate from, on Ion Channel, it's the Defo Show, and it's the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge, although this will be somewhat of a hybrid edition of the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. I'm Chef Deforrest, and the man on your screen there, which would appear on your left, I'm assuming. Yes. Does it flip-flop as we air this thing, Lubie? Am I getting the right picture, or does it get juxtaposed completely? All right, the man on your left, because you always want to identify the fighter on the left of your screen, and then they switch positions, and all of a sudden the guy on the right is the one getting knocked out, and that turns out to be Smith. You've been calling him Jones the entire time, but this is Mike Lubitz with me here on the program. Michael, how are you today on this fine Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge Day?
In life, I'm good, thank God. As a person, I'm depressed as hell, but
you're falling apart. This Deion Sanders really got you. He screwed the pooch, as they say. All right, we had a couple of late scratches due to circumstances beyond their own individual control on the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge, and we had various options here, but we decided we're going to go ahead, do a show, and we'll throw some trivia out there for you guys. We will talk extensively about all the great things going on at Hialeah Park, which I don't mind doing at all because I absolutely love Hialeah Park, and you can see the logo there. Even that has class to it, doesn't it, right? I mean, it's a perfect symmetry, old and new and old, just fusing themselves together there, as if it was the old John Mayall album, Jazz Blues Fusion. Hialeah Park, great casino, great atmosphere, great place to go for the holidays. Going to be a heck of a lot of fun. And what would be better than a holiday dinner with that special someone in your life? And you say, hey, sweetheart, let's go to a very romantic dinner. And they can certainly make arrangements and accommodations for that for you. And they have all kinds of specials going on at Hialeah Park in that regard, whether you're talking about Christmas, New Year's. This is the place to celebrate the holidays. And then I'll be celebrating in January when they have the boxing there. They already had the handicapping championship. That was a huge success. Every event they do there at Hialeah Park is just the epitome of class and distinction. So you can enjoy all of that. And always a good time. And the best thing about it, if you're taking, that special someone in your life to Hialeah Park for a pre-Christmas dinner, a Christmas Eve dinner, a New Year's Eve celebration, you can gamble your brains out too.
Yes, sir.
I don't think there's a better combination, right? What's better than gambling on New Year's Eve? It's all a gamble anyway. Do we really know if any of this stuff is going to work out in 2022? Look what's happening in sports right now with COVID-19. Last year, everybody was alarmed and, we're thinking, oh, my God, how are you going to play the season? They managed to do it. And this season now, all of a sudden, as we come near the end of the NFL season, I believe there are 90 NFL players in COVID protocol as we speak, 90, including Baker Mayfield. Tell me that didn't send people scrambling to their bookmakers. Hey, Manny, cancel my bet. Or, you'd want to be enhancing it somewhat. That line has already changed dramatically with the announcement that Baker Mayfield is out. Who's the backup quarterback for the Cleveland Browns? Do we know? Does anybody have a clue?
That's a great question.
That's in the NFL, but that's not where it ends. NBA, all kinds of people with COVID-19 protocols. The Bulls had to cancel a couple of games or postpone them and had 9 guys of the 15 guys on their roster in COVID protocol. A bunch of coaches are coming down with it. UCLA had to cancel a game last night as they were getting set to take on some cupcake at the, is it still the Poly Pavilion? Named for the Polyman, by the way. Did you realize that?
No, I didn't. That makes a lot of sense.
He had a lot of money back in the day when he was a jockey agent. He had some pretty good jocks that he was taking care of. He was making all kinds of capital, especially when he had the young apprentice, Harvey Puckett, who won like 150 races. I don't know, he set some kind of record, and I think was an Eclipse Award contender as the apprentice jockey of the year. Polyman was in charge of this guy's career and guiding his fortunes. And unfortunately, he got out of that game and did it maybe at the height of his success. Moved on to other things, but actually had the dough to go ahead and donate so that they could build an on-campus arena at UCLA right there in Westwood, the Pauley Pavilion. That could have been. That was one of my true false questions actually today here on the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. I was looking at, I've drawn whenever I've been summoned to come up with questions, not that I'm lazy or anything in terms of research, because it's pretty easy to research almost anything. In fact, one of the fascinating aspects of putting together the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge over the years is that, and these guys, Dave Gurgly and Polyman, they do a tremendous job of coming up with questions that you can't immediately just Google.
Yeah, they're good at that.
If you say, who was the National League All-Star starting second baseman in 1972, you can Google that and look it up, right? Pretty quickly.
Yes.
Even while you're on the phone and going, hey, could you read me the choices again? Is that the ploy that guys use that are playing a game?
Yes, 100%. I mean,
is anything on the level? I guess that would be the question of the day. I don't want to get Lubie. I want to get you wound up and started here because I haven't heard you like this. And you're right. The last time I saw you, just absolutely explosive. Steam coming out of your ears when I mentioned anything about this particular incident that took place yesterday. Was when LeBron James stiffed Pat Riley at that meeting at the Circus.
As I've gotten older, I'm still a crazy fan when I watch, but the minute the game's over, I'm usually fine. I let it go. I am an adult. It's just a game. Yesterday, who left, how they left, was reminiscent to me of LeBron, because LeBron, by every report, was, okay, he's staying. Every report, everything he said, everything felt like he was staying. Cleveland's roster was a disaster. There was no reason to go to Cleveland. So not only him leaving, but losing probably the best player ever by a lot of people's account, or second best ever, 1A, in his prime, when you just went to 4 straight finals.
What if he had stayed here? What would have happened with the Heat and the Heat history? That would have been interesting.
Yeah, who knows? And Riley's as good as remaking roster as anyone. So that's why everyone thought he would stay. The way it happened left me totally depressed, even as a grown-ass man. Yesterday was the first time that happened since then.
Yes. Well, and here's the story. I mean, a lot of people were zeroed in. We had some, conversations about this, although, there's really no way to tell what actually happened. I guess if you're getting the highest rated high school players consistently year after year, as Nick Saban is, with Alabama, as Kirby Smart might be doing now at Georgia, and now Jimbo Fisher, of course, has burst onto the scene here, and you're thinking this is largely fueled by large amounts of cash.
Money.
That's always been the way. I mean, when you look at players throughout history that have been superstars and they've opted to go to a school that maybe wasn't in their area or whatever, usually, a substantial amount of cash was involved. Cam Newton, did they ever figure out how much it was that Auburn spent to get him to go there? They gave it all to the old man. And there were all kinds of ways of circumventing the system.
Well, that was the school he didn't go to, so I don't know what Auburn paid him.
Yeah, well, whatever. I mean, but I mean, they were always, assertions out there that an unlimited amount of capital was being funneled into the pockets of various sources. The mom all of a sudden was driving a Rolls Royce, even though she had lived in dire poverty, raising 16 children with 3 jobs. And all of a sudden, she's rolling up to school in a Bentley there. And, the star quarterback is playing. But the name, image, and likeness deal was supposed to change the landscape forever. And you would assume that it would, except that the schools that were already doling out the big money without having to pay the players directly via legal means. And I guess it's still indirectly because it involves like a company, corporation, whatever.
It's supposed to not be, at least Florida, but I thought all the states had the same rules, because that's how we've heard it. Because we've had a lot of people on. We were really big into this when this came out, because you and I have loved the idea of kids getting paid. So we thought this was it. So we talked to a lot of people about this, and everyone said that you're not supposed to, and I talked to the professor a lot about this, directly use NIL for recruiting. You get the kid in. It's about getting the kid.
But who's administrating that? Who's trying to legislate that?
It's the NCAA really doesn't
powerless
have
NCAA. I mean, they have no authority anymore over any of this stuff. We've seen it. They're a train wreck at this point.
They don't exist.
And who's to stop somebody from saying, which is, I guess, what happened here that has you completely upset. I mean, your whole world was turned upside down. And I don't know how good this kid is going to be. Travis Hunter is the kid's name, young man's name.
Actually, the highest rated recruit ever.
He's a wide receiver and a cornerback.
And a DB. He's literally he was the best wide receiver in the class and the best defensive back in the class, and probably by a lot. Like, the kid's ridiculous. And he plays in a really good state, and he plays against really good competition, and it's not even fair. Like, the kid's insane.
All right. So anyway, his story goes like this: 2 years, he's already committed.
Yes.
He committed. He barely was out of the womb yet, and he already was wearing like an FSU Letterman's jacket.
Yes.
All right. So the kid's been going to FSU forever, and everybody thought that was going to be the case. And this is where Lubie's particular sensitivity, and it's awfully self-indulgent of you 100%. To have this ridiculous, wild, crazy, insane rant, only because it was your alma mater that was impacted by this. If the guy was going to go to Syracuse, what would I care? I don't know. So he ends up at Jackson State, coached by Deion Sanders, and supposedly the word was that Barstool, which I don't know what kind of conflict that is for Deion Sanders to also be performing on Barstool. I mean,
it's paid well.
If Nick Saban can do Aflac commercials, what stops Deion Sanders from putting his arms around an organization that is controversial, to say the least? I mean, and stands for a lot of things that you would think no college would find relatable whatsoever, that they would want to so badly distance themselves from, except that kids love this stuff.
That's right? The other irony here is this historic day for HBCUs is sponsored by a man who a lot of people think is massively racist.
It's Portnoy, Cat. I mean, some of the things he had to say. The young lady that was a sideline reporter in college and now is the host of the NFL pregame show on ESPN, Samantha Ponder, who is
definitely sexist,
very likable, seemingly very competent professional host.
Watch her on Radio Row. She's really nice.
Yeah, seems like a perfectly lovely young lady, and she, was crucified. I mean, in such a cruel fashion by Portnoy on Barstool that you would think no institution of higher learning would ever want to have any kind of association with people that were responsible, and not even denying it. They boldly admitted, we said that and we meant it. In fact, we were holding back.
Yeah, I mean, Barstool.
I mean, they're talking about this woman as if she was a whore and this and that and all kinds of, I mean, just absolutely blatantly demeaning and blasphemous type of stuff that, you would have to think that lawsuits would be flying about. I don't even know if it's defamation of character. It's just mindless kind of, attack on a woman that seems to be a very polished professional. And I don't know. I mean, does anybody question Samantha Ponder's integrity as a performer? I'm not sure that they do. And they're implying that she slept her way to the top and this and that and all of this stuff. I mean, like really disgusting, demeaning stuff. So, of course, here's Jackson State now. They have Deion Sanders as their coach of the football team. And here's Portnoy, and you have Barstool Sports putting up $2 million to guarantee this kid that if he goes to Jackson State, he's going to get $2 million.
Well, it's
right off the bat. Something like that.
1.5 to 2 million. A lot of people are saying 1.82.
Doesn't matter. I mean, it's millions of dollars.
And he's going to get a reality. It's like openly known. He's going to get his own reality TV show, which again, good for him.
Yeah. Hey, look, and we've been saying this all along. The funny thing, I mean, always trying to hide again behind this cloak of amateurism. I mean, why not just come out of the closet, so to speak, and admit to what you are, a professional enterprise with zillions of dollars at stake? They're flying Tony Segreto all over the place to go watch. Like, did Tony really need to go as a member of the Orange Bowl committee to fly to that Cincinnati game and witness what was going on there and meet all the people so that they could invite Cincinnati to the Orange Bowl? They were going there anyway.
They had no say.
By the draw.
Regardless.
Exactly. So what was the point of, I don't know. I mean, I guess it would be useful if you were going to stage an event like the Orange Bowl game to get to know the people that were going to be involved and tell them, hey, here's what's, the agenda is going to be the week before. We're going to need to coach and this and that. How do you feel about this? And we're going to have a parade. And, do you want your guys wearing orange uniforms? I mean, whatever it was that they discussed, I guess there are some details that might be worthwhile to be face-to-face with some of the people that were running the event, or running the team. But other than that, I mean, look, it's all a giant charade. The money that's involved, the players should be paid a percentage of what revenues are generated by the teams that they play for. I would think that would be the way to compensate players, not go into this sort of shadowy area of name, image, and likeness. That should have been accorded anybody that was doing whatever it is that they do in life. Well, why should you not be able to take, if somebody wants to pay you $100,000 to put you in a television commercial and you happen to be a high school player, why shouldn't you be able to accept that? Except in the past, you were supposedly technically damaging your status as an amateur athlete, and that would preclude you from playing on a collegiate level and or put the team that had you on their roster in some kind of jeopardy of being in violation of NCAA rules, right? But that never worked. And this whole business about, well, this is the way that we're going to find a way to funnel some cash into players' pockets now has reached absurd proportions. Because you have this kid going, and your beef, Lubie, is that this was supposed to be a big triumphant day for these smaller schools because they were able to snare like a number one recruit. But you're saying it may as well be like Black Sunday, right? Bruce Stern may as well be in some kind of blimp hovering over the arena with intentions of annihilating the entire crowd.
I mean, for the one day, it was historic. It never happened. You got a 5-star, the best recruit in the country, to go to an HBCU. It was a great day. But to me, all these people that are saying this is like historic in the sense that it's a new thing that's going to just happen all over the place, they're ignoring why it happened. They're thinking, well, Deion said he'd change it, and he did. I mean, he's Deion. Deion's never given a shit about anyone but Deion. So that's already saying you don't know who Deion is.
I think you should qualify your bitterness, though, about Deion Sanders, because you loved him when he was playing for Florida State. He was
I didn't.
Loved him. Absolutely loved him.
I didn't know him at FSU. I actually grew up hating Nhl. I didn't realize Deion was a Nhl till I was like in middle school or high school. Like I hated Deion because he was a pompous ass. And then when I knew he was a Nhl, I'm like, oh, cool, he's a Nhl. Like he's the best DB ever, so he's a Nhl. But I've never liked him. He's always been really weird with FSU, like really standoffish with FSU. So, but that's fine. I mean, it is what it is. And he
ruined him now.
He made a move. So good for him. I mean, good for him. It's just all these people that are doing a victory lap. To me, I don't think this is the thing we're going to see happen all the time now. I think it's the opposite. I think he had a connection with Barstool, and he's at a school that he was willing to push NIL in a way no one has yet. And he took advantage of the rules in a way no one has yet. And he got his guy to pay a lot of money that people were trying to pay him and they weren't paying him that much. So he won, but now he's opened the floodgates. Like now Alabama and Georgia and Texas and USC and Ohio State.
But Bryce Young had $1 million deals in place before he went to Alabama, right?
He was already at Alabama for a year.
Oh, he was there. Yeah. Okay.
Yes. That's the point of NIL, is to pay the kids that are there for the work they're doing now. That's the quote unquote point. Of course it's being used for recruiting, but it's not supposed to. And again, it's all bullshit. You know, it's bullshit. But Deion now opened it up. Deion now made it like literally Jimbo was asked on fucking Feinbaum, the piece of work. Jimbo,
I noticed you're swearing more since this is the topic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jimbo,
remember, little kids are driving to school with their parents.
Definitely.
Listening to the show. Yeah. I mean, it's okay. I mean, you're punctuated. It just shows you how this has impacted you.
I am.
That you've lost your control over your ability to edit what you're saying as it's coming out of your mouth.
Feinbaum asked Jimbo how NIL's changed things, and Jimbo laughed and openly on air said, well, I mean, we're already paying him. Now we're just paying him legally. So, I mean, that's what happened. I think that's all that this did, was now the people that were sort of creeping in the background doing this, like, hey, if Deion can do it. So I don't think this is this big day for HBCU going forward. I think it opened the floodgates to speed up the process of the NIL ruining college football. I mean, which is fine. It needed to happen. These kids need to get paid. They deserve to get paid. The schools weren't doing it. So this way, at least they'll get paid. But it was like sort of a slow process. It was going to take 2 to 3 years. Now I feel like it's been fast-tracked. So we'll see.
Yeah, once Phil Knight opens up the bankroll there,
like, come on.
You would think the new coach at Oregon would have no trouble getting recruits and winning those battles. Anyway, it's always interesting to see the reporting on this because I don't know that it really has any foundation in reality. You realize that the top programs find ways to perpetuate themselves because naturally, if you're running the number one program in the country, like, say, Nick Saban is at Alabama, and whether they're number one or not at the end of the year, still everybody knows that, look, you look at second-round picks, third-round picks off the Alabama roster, they're starting. and playing prominent roles in the NFL. And, it's almost like looking at Calipari's Kentucky teams from a couple of years ago, where we're like 7 guys on the roster, all after playing their 1 year, all go in the first round in the top 15 of the NBA draft. Amazing. It's one thing. I always tease you about the Devin Booker thing, but the truth was he was kind of buried on that roster. At Kentucky. People didn't really know, much about this guy. He did end up being the number 13 pick in the draft, but he was low on the totem pole of Kentucky players in terms of public recognition because he was coming off the bench there and averaging like 12 points a game as a freshman, taking 6 shots, all going in.
Yeah, exactly.
While elevating 6 feet off the ground to get off his jumper while being triple covered. You know what? I looked at that and said, that guy looks pretty good to me. But the point being, you're going to gravitate toward these programs. The University of Miami, everybody's, Mario Cristobal, he's going to straighten this out. Al Golden, he's going to straighten this out. Larry Coker, he knows all the local kids and the high school coaches. They're going to love him. They're all going to want to go there. I don't know what the mindset of 18, 17-year-old young men are, where do they stand today? They're going to gravitate towards where they think they can quickly become famous, as was always the case, and get the maximum exposure. You don't think it was an advantage for Notre Dame to have a contract with NBC?
Oh, huge.
Right. Here's the University of Miami. Your game's on TV? Yeah, well, we're on Hulu. We're on Zebra Plus. Who couldn't even figure out, what these channels are? How many times, we're here in South Florida, and, a zillion times you're thumbing around going, wait a minute, where's this game?
Exactly.
University of Miami, like they're playing at noon. It should be on TV somewhere. And, no, you don't get that. But if you were Notre Dame, you were on NBC. And guess what? You were probably on NBC in a primetime Saturday night game almost every week. So if you were thinking about making a decision as to which would be the best course of action to get you maximum exposure as a player, you might be inclined to go with the one that has the network television contract, correct?
Yeah, obviously.
That'd be the way to go. Now it's whoever has the most money up front, I guess. And is
well,
willing to.
Good for them.
Yeah. So college football changing forever, but still, it's only because they just refuse to go ahead and capitulate to what it really is, and that is a professional sports enterprise.
Yep.
With insane amounts of money rolling around. As much as in any other sport, you would have to think college football generates zillions of dollars and provides all kinds of programming. Why do you think there are all these bowl games? They're all on TV too. ESPN bought the rights to every one of them.
It's content.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it's just money.
Do people really care about Toledo playing Middle Tennessee State?
Well, some may, especially if you're a gambler. It's something to put money on.
Even that. I don't know. Do I have an opinion on Toledo, Middle Tennessee State? I guess college football gamblers probably do. Yeah, professor probably figures he has this game nailed. It might be his game of the century. That's the beauty of sick, degenerate college football gamblers. But nonetheless, there would be little reason to play this game as a bonus after the season is over to go and get Toledo and Middle Tennessee State to get together. You have any number of these type of games that kick off the bowl season. No pun intended there with the term kickoff. But starting tomorrow, right? Bahamas Bowl. You have the Cure Bowl, which Coastal Carolina. Are you inclined to schlep up to Orlando to see Coastal Carolina, Northern Illinois? Although Northern Illinois is a team that we are very fond of.
Yes.
Because many years ago, when the professor discovered that every game in that conference went over the total by at least 50 points. See, now that's when you're a good gambler. When you're in on a trend that people haven't really hopped on board yet with. And the bookies haven't even caught up with it, right? Remember that? We were scoring every night. We used to go down to Fishtails, watch the games, and the band was playing, and we were yelling and screaming as the score eclipsed like Toledo would have 72 points, and there was Northern Illinois coming right back with a touchdown to make it 75-72 with an over-under that was at 58. That was covered by the end of the first quarter. That was a great year. That was one of the few times I ever won consistently on college football. Every week, yelling and screaming.
Yep.
Nobody realized that there was no defense being played in that conference, and they actually did have some pretty good quarterbacks. So Northern Illinois might be a team that I would watch with a certain percentage of fondness in my heart. But not inclined to have an overwhelming interest in any of these games. They're playing the Boca Bowl at 11 a.m.
Nice.
How about that? to accommodate television contractual
really
obligations.
care about that bowl.
11 a.m. Imagine you're going to a ball game on Saturday morning at 11. Yeah, well, you got to watch out the traffic there. They're all getting out of shul right at that time. Okay, that might be the problem. Yeah, it wouldn't necessarily be a Sunday church thing.
No.
Appalachian State, Western Kentucky.
Oh my God!
I don't even know if I would schlep up to Boca for that. Did you went to a Boca Bowl? Did you not? Did you go up there? They have a nice stadium. Howard Schnellenberger put that thing together. It's pretty cool, the stadium there in Boca Raton, Florida.
The stadium is cool. It is on campus.
Yes.
So there you go. I went to the FAU game with you. That's the only game I've ever seen there.
That's right. Yeah, that was great.
Yeah,
FAU had him on the run. Yeah. Charlie Partridge, our good friend now at Pittsburgh, was coaching. And Pittsburgh in a much bigger on a much bigger platform in their bowl game, but nonetheless are going to do it without their quarterback. So that's another factor. But this is for the Ultimate Degenerates. I would imagine we'll have a lot of steam on these games tomorrow on our Deal Volkswagen Degenerate Friday show. Today it's the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge, and our guys both had to scratch, which is unfortunate. So if you're wondering, hey, when are you going to get to the game, Defo? I don't know. I mean, we could toss something out there and play for a prize. You want to do that somewhere during the show, Lubie?
Yeah, I don't care. We can throw questions out.
But see, there would be so much time to look up the answer at that point that no matter how devious a form that we used to ask the question that tried to make it impossible to track down, there would be enough time for somebody to do it. I derive a lot of my questions when Forrest and Preston action from various editions of the column called This Date in Sports.
Okay.
Are you familiar with that? Yeah, I mean, you'll see that a lot of newspapers don't feature this anymore, but the New York Post does, and it's always part of the Agate section where it's on a page here, as it usually is, with the NFL standings, the Nhl standings, which in my edition of the New York Post are relatively useless because it doesn't include games that were played last night. So you go ahead and say, hey, well, so-and-so moved into first place, and the truth was they've dropped to last, which can happen in the NHL, in the span of 24 hours. But they have the standings, and they have a couple of box scores. Are you inclined to look at hockey box scores?
No.
Well, by any chance?
I've tried. I can't really understand half of it with the plus minus and all that crap. The minutes, it's like they played 7 minutes. It's like, what? Like, I don't know. The hockey box score sort of confused the shit out of me.
All right, I'm looking at one here, trying to see what information. As a diehard sports fan, that always studied box scores, especially baseball, basketball. I like to once in a while go over a box score, but a lot of box scores online don't give you the crucial information, which is for me, if a guy scored 29 points, and you're looking, what was his shooting percentage? I mean, was it Allen Iverson that scored 29 on 6 for 31? And went to the line a bunch of times. I mean, you can't really make that determination from a lot of box scores that leave out. Well, what's the point of printing a box score and leaving out the key information? Like, what was the guy's percentage from the field? Although, I'm seeing various approaches to that, and I want to know: did the guy take like 27 shots? If he did, how many did he make? But this it has first period scoring recap.
Okay.
And then they go into the second period. They give you the penalties in each period, shots on goal, power play opportunities. The Rangers with a big fat 0 in that opportunity. And they give you the goalies and the save stats, and that's it. But it takes up a pretty significant portion of this column. They've only got room for 3 hockey box scores in the entire column. But right next to that, this day in sports. All right, so I'm going to give you the first one on here, Lubie.
Okay.
This day in sports. We're talking about December 16th, and we'll throw that out there as part of a trivia question. How about that?
Okay.
You want to try it? And you want to give out the phone number, too? Take a call on this thing?
Okay.
See if somebody gets this thing. All right, so what's the phone number, Lubie, that we're going to use for this one?
954-417-0070. 954-417-0070.
All right. There it is. You can call that number if you know the answer to this question.
I'll pop it on the screen as well.
We're going back to 1918. I think it was at this fight. In 1918, this is the first item on the, this date in sports, December 16th. On this date, in 1918, the great Jack Dempsey knocked out what fighter in 14 seconds in a heavyweight bout in New Orleans? Who was the fighter that got knocked out 14 seconds? So, a few seconds tick off the clock before they even get together to touch gloves if they're going to do that before the fight starts.
Yes.
So 14 seconds, plus you're taking a 10 count, correct? So he would have had to have gotten hit with one punch, and that was it. Lights out. For what fighter? If you know that name, we'll come up with something for you. I don't know what it'll be, but we'll come up with a prize here.
I have certificates. That's fine.
You have what?
We have landlubbers gift certificates. I mean, I have no problem giving those away.
All right, let's give one away. If anybody can tell me what fighter was it that got knocked out in what would have to have been, could you have a faster knockout than 14 seconds? I guess you could have one in 11 seconds, but I don't know if there's ever been one in history. But Jack Dempsey knocked out what fighter? This is our key question to start things off on the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge on this fine Thursday edition here of the Defo Show on Ion Channel. Knocked out what fighter in 14 seconds in New Orleans? And I don't know that this was a heavyweight championship bout. I'm going to assume that it was. And a very worthy challenger. Took one punch, one on the chin. That's the old thing, right? Would you fight so-and-so like Mike Tyson for $1 million? Not sure that millions were at stake in this one, but they obviously shoved this guy into the ring there, and he went down in a heap after one punch. So if you know that answer, Jack Dempsey knocked out what fighter in 14 seconds on this date in 1918? Anybody that was at the match too? Congratulations.
Alive? Would you be at the match and alive and well?
You would have to be,
like 120.
Born at the arena, and you would be 103. You were born that night. All right, call us at 954-417-0070. Hialeah Park, I can tell you a lot of great things about Hialeah Park. I love Hialeah Park. I really do. It's kind of a place that has a spot in my heart and always will. And the people have always been great to me there, and they're wonderful people, too. And kind of the same group been together for a long, long time, and they do a dynamite job. I mean, really just absolute perfect symmetry, the way they operate, all the different departments there, including the casino with Steve Calabro. He's got that thing rocking. A $43,000 jackpot taken down just the other day. And it's jackpot bowling in there. It's unbelievable. With those Royal Reels, everybody loves the Royal Reels at Hialeah Park. And sensational payoffs coming down the pike there. Get a player's card when you come through the door there. We always recommend that. They have all kinds of freebies and amenities and a lot of generous allotments of free play and specials on dining and things and all kinds of entertainment with the player's card. So you want to do that. Establish yourself as a player there. If you were a player at another casino or another gaming institution and you're a VIP status, they give you even more generous allotments of amenities, as we like to call them, with the sign-up and the approach of just getting a player's card there at Hialeah Park. They want you to come in there and have a good time. Poker room is extremely well-run. All the poker players, they can go to many different places, and they all rave about the conditions there and the way the games are set up and the way they operate at Hialeah Park. And, of course, we love the Champions simulcasting room. And we were broadcasting live there for many, many years. I always loved going in there on a Saturday. It just gave me a sense that I was coming into the heyday of the historical and just inherent beauty of Hialeah Park. So get down there, have a good time. They have all kinds of specials, as I mentioned. Log on to their website. A lot of good information about special dinners and parties. I was trying to talk Jack Namer into putting together the Christmas party there. He mentioned it, but you know how that goes, right? I don't know.
Yeah, it's still late. Yeah, we'll see.
Still kind of laying there, but Frank Fiore would be happy to accommodate. And anybody, I mean, Frank doesn't arrange these dinners, but if he did, it would be spot on. And the staff there really does an incredible job. I mean, they really know what they're doing. It's a pleasure to deal with them on any kind of occasion like that, whether you're going for a Christmas, a holiday dinner, a holiday party, whatever it is that you want. The food is great, service is dynamite, and the atmosphere is unparalleled. All at Hialeah Park. And take a look, boxing fans. I hope to see a lot of you out there. January, and wow, this is going to be like a Cuban boxing talent festival that they have there, and not necessarily all showcase matches. You're going to see a lot of competitive matches on the card, and that's what makes boxing at Hialeah so special. Plus, I don't know that there's a better environment that I've seen. I've seen a lot of racetracks try and convert into boxing facilities and arenas. I've seen a lot of matches there. Seen pro wrestling at dog tracks, to tell you the truth. I mean, there's nothing I would stop at in terms of finding this as a means of entertainment. But I really, really enjoy the boxing. I mean, they do a dynamite job there. And that's coming up in January at Hialeah Park. If you haven't been to a live boxing match, you'll want to go. And it'll be an eye-opener for you. And if you have, you know of what I speak, that it's as exciting and electrifying an atmosphere as you can possibly find for a sport that lends itself to that type of crescendo of excitement. So enjoy that. That's coming up in January. It's all happening at beautiful Hialeah Park. All right, we're coming back with more. We have a trivia question out there on the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. It's kind of a lame one, I will admit. And it's probably easily something that you could research. You can
We'll
call
look
us at
it up, yes.
954-417-0070, 954-417-0070. Who did Jack Dempsey knock out on this date in 1918 in 14 seconds in a heavyweight bout
19.
in the beautiful city of New Orleans? That's the question that's out there for a Landlubbers gift certificate. I'm Jeff Deforrest. He's Mike Lubie Lubitz. Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. The Polymental 8 scratch today.
Got a couple of things I got to do.
And Dave Gurgly had an engagement that he couldn't wriggle his way out of there because everybody's understaffed and shorthanded, and as much as he wanted to be with us here on the show, was unable to put that together. So it's Lubie and me here on the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. I'm Jeff Deforrest. He's Mike Lubie Lubitz. Ion Channel is the place you can find us, ionchannel.com. It's always great to be here with you on our video and audio stream. Thank you, people, for the growing, increasing numbers and numerology on the program. That certainly is very heartening to us as Lubie and I working hard to try and bring you, what would it be? Some semblance of entertainment here and some light in your day. Yes. We're like evangelists here. We want to bring you a little bit of light on an otherwise dark day on the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. Back with more in a moment. Now that.
The time.
You know, on this day, what else happened? That was when OJ broke the record, 2,000 yards. Cracked 2,000. That happened. Of course, it wasn't 1918. It's 7:36. Destination Sport Miami is here to revolutionize the sports landscape in South Florida. The largest indoor multifaceted sports complex in North America is on the way, with distinguished leaders of its various sports programs and unparalleled access to the finest indoor training fields and facilities. Destination Sport Miami will set South Florida apart as the destination of choice for elite athletic training and development, and for its dedication to youth programs and sports on all levels. A phenomenal concept and a powerful undertaking, Destination Sport Miami will also be an important commodity in the sports business community as well. Destination Sport Miami, its time has come.
These days, we're all looking for comfort anywhere we can find it. Thank goodness for Landlubbers Raw Bar and Grill in the Plantation location, because they are making sure you are as comfortable as possible. First of all, they're not only open for delivery and pickup. All you have to do is go to landlubbersbarandgrill.com for both pickup and free delivery. Their hours have changed a little bit. Monday through Thursday from 3:30 to 10, and Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 11:30 to 10. You're going to have the best wings in the world. You're going to have a great burger. You're going to have their amazing soups. Again, Landlubbers Raw Bar and Grill. It's nice and easy. Just go to landlubbersbarandgrill.com for both your pickup and free delivery. Thank goodness for Landlubbers for making you always feel right at home.
Play the ponies in style at Champions, the outstanding simulcasting room at beautiful Hialeah Park. Yes, the grand old lady of thoroughbred racing has never been more vibrant, and you can wager on the races from the top tracks around the country while enjoying a cocktail at the Brass Rail Bar or any of the fine food served throughout the facility. If poker is your game, you're covered in style, and you can play all your favorite Vegas-style games, including blackjack, craps, and roulette, in Hialeah Park's sizzling hot casino. Get a player's card when you walk through the door for all kinds of generous amenities, including our favorite, free play, when you come out to the ultimate casino and entertainment destination, Hialeah Park.
Hey, folks, Tony Segreto here. What if I told you you could go to a great restaurant, feel completely safe because their COVID protocol is unmatched, have an amazing meal, have a great time. When the bill comes, you won't get sticker shock. You're going to say, that's too good to be true. No, it's not, because I'm talking about Texas Roadhouse. Great family atmosphere, great atmosphere for a couple, great atmosphere if you just want to go by yourself and watch a game and have the coldest beer in town. And while you're doing that, have the best bread in town. All at Texas Roadhouse. Everything you get there is fresh every day and made sure it's served at your table, hot and ready to go. And the best part is you don't get sticker shock because the prices are amazing. Texas Roadhouse.
Recently, we realized it's not just hurricane season that can hurt us. Any time of year, things can happen to your home or business. And the insurance company can be your friend, but they also can be your enemy. Horizon Public Adjusters, Justina Testa, are here for you to help this process go so much easier. Before you call the insurance company, call Horizon Public Adjusters and Justina Testa at 954-809-8752. Would you go into court without an attorney? So why would you go up against an insurance company without Horizon Public Adjusters and Justina Testa? 7 to 10 times more money recovered with a public adjuster than if you went on your own. If there's no recovery, there's no fee. Give them a call at 954-809-8752. Why go up against insurance companies alone? You can have Horizon Public Adjusters and Justina Testa on your side.
Hey, it's Mike Mayo, the Gambling Gourmet here for my friends over at Shenanigans Sports Pub. It's a great place to go to take in a game, a good meal, and a couple of drinks. My friend Patrick, he's been doing it a long time, and he's got 2 locations. West side is right across from TY Park in Hollywood. And then the east side location is at 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach. Shenanigans is the place for wings, burgers, barbecue, fresh fish, anything you want, drink specials, late night dining, outdoor dining. It is the place to go, family friendly. Go to Shenanigans and tell them the Gambling Gourmet sent you.
Ric Flair, the world's heavyweight champion. I don't have to say a lot more about the way I feel about Ric Flair. No respect, no honor. There is no honor among thieves. He put hard times on Dusty Rhodes and his family. Daddy.
The only way to get the morning started is with Defo, joined by Lubie, right here on the Defo Show.
Welcome back to the show, the Defo Show. Today's edition, the Highland Park Trivia Challenge. Jeff Deforrest and Mike Lubitz with you here on Ion Channel. IonChannel.com is where you find us. Audio, video streaming around the world, and very happy to be associated with these fine people. Jack Namer, his crew, the lovely Amy and Brad Schiller do a fine job, and we appreciate what they've done and putting us here on the video and audio streaming map. We always appreciate the people at Hialeah Park, and as I mentioned, check out that boxing card, people. It's going to be a spectacular. I know Frankie is really excited to have boxing coming back there, as are a lot of people. Remember, Lubie, that place was rocking. The stands kind of go straight back from the ring. And the way, obviously, they had the grandstand there at Hialeah Park that they take advantage of. And it was at gradual levels that are just perfect. I mean, it was always a great place in terms of the sightlines. So you don't have to worry about some guy like all of a sudden you're saying, hey, Haas Cartwright, could you take the hat off, sitting in front of you there? Because it's just perfect sightlines all the way down. And it kind of creates a very intimate setting. It's very much... like the old Olympic Auditorium there in terms of the people being right on top of the action. Absolutely fantastic. So check out the boxing card at Hialeah Park, and you'll see us down there, and we're going to have a good time. We threw a trivia question out there, kind of a lame one, just looking for a response. You can dial us up at 954-417-0070. I would imagine if Lenny the Chronic did not know the answer to this question, he had ample time to look it up by now. And that was, what stiff did Jack Dempsey knock out in 1918 on this date, December 16th, 1918? It's a long time ago, Dave. I know, but who was the stiff? I guess the significance of it was the first item there on the This Date in Sports, which a lot of stuff happened. It was a good day for Ryan Lochte, the swimmer Ryan Lochte, December 16th. He set a couple of records. Is there really like a short course swimming pool or something? He was accomplishing these records in like Dubai and Istanbul in what was termed a kind of race that I was not familiar with. Ryan Lochte, American swimmer Ryan Lochte, sets the first individual swimming world record since high-tech bodysuits were banned, winning the 400-meter individual medley at the Short Course World Championships. Short Course World Championships, Lubie. What does that imply? That maybe the pool was like half the size that it usually is? Remember the pool I had in the backyard of that house, the old Defo mansion? Maybe it was like that size. He just swam like 100 laps faster than anybody else. But anyway, a good day for him because he did this again at a later date. A couple of years later, Ryan Lochte was setting more records on this date. And as I mentioned, it was also the day that O.J. Simpson cracked 2,000 yards in a game against the New York Jets, who come to town this Sunday amidst very little fanfare. Miami Dolphins on a 5-game winning streak. They're now 6-7. They're knocking on the door of going to the postseason. They're also knocking off, as Jack Dempsey did on December 16th, 1918. I almost said 2018. 1918. They're knocking off a series of stiffs. Joe Louis style. It's like bumming a week club in the NFL. So they have the Jets in town. Normally a game that would create a lot of excitement in the South Florida area where we're broadcasting from, but nothing. Crickets in terms of the amount of buzz it's creating around town. Although I would imagine most of the fans are salivating, if you're a diehard Dolphin fan, of the opportunity to beat the living snot out of a weak New York Jets team. And I don't believe the Jets have won here for a long time. I think if you track it, I was reading an article today that the last several years in particular have been ugly for the New York Jets. They've lost, since 2016, I think, every game played here at what is now Hard Rock Stadium. So that goes back to when it was Skidmark Park, remember, when they were sponsored by like an underwear company and had that logo up there? All right. We have Billy with us on the phone to try and take a shot at this question here. I don't know. Billy, were you at the fight there in 1918, Jack Dempsey in New Orleans?
Yeah, I know, but my uncle Yuri was there.
Yuri.
What's up, Andy? How are you, my friend? You all right?
Who this at? No, yeah, it's me. I don't know. Yeah, I'm good. Everything's good. I'm feeling all right.
Okay, the ticker's working. I'm going to put a call in for you, but I already schnorred like 4 tickets off Al Poliak for a freebie there at the Funky Biscuit. So I don't know. I mean, would I be going Lubie-esque if I asked for 2 more? The show's like sold out, but I might be able to, pull some strings and get a couple, at face value there for you.
Yeah, I just need a table. I wasn't looking for it to be free, but I went online and all the tables were sold out already.
That's what it appears. Yes. Yeah, I'll check with the people there, though. I'll see if we can't get you in. That's going to be a dynamite show tomorrow night. Funky Biscuit, Boca Raton, the great Mike Zito in town.
All right, so I'm going to go with A. I'll go with A.
Yeah. There were no choices there on this question.
On this one.
Yeah. You're taking a first-time starter to this show if you get in there tomorrow at the Biscuit? Is that true?
Yes, that is true. That is true.
So what's the next move? Because mine was always, see if they like music and a good time or whatever, or a fancy dinner. And then the second date is always straight to the track to see if they can tolerate being ignored for 5 hours while you drink and hoist a few and lose a lot of money with your friends.
Well, that's kind of what attracted me was that her name online was Force Lover. So I thought we had a lot in common because I think I could take her to the track and she'd pony up, she'd bet. But she rides horses. Like, it's different.
Yeah.
Like, who knew that?
Who knew that?
Yeah. It's like hospital food versus, the circuit that the Gambling Gourmet is on.
I don't know, but she seems, she seems pretty well preserved for,
have you seen this woman, or is it just based on a picture online? Because those can be very deceptive, as you know.
Well, I have a strategy for that. I make sure we video chat first.
Good man. Yes, good man.
Oh, okay.
You take a 2 minute, you Skype for 2 minutes, or you Facebook chat for 2 minutes, and you get to see what they look like now.
Yeah.
That makes some sense. Now, did you have to take down your high school graduation picture that you posted up there?
Your bar mitzvah.
Because I have a picture paying homage to the great Arturo Gatti, and I've had that up there forever. And the question I always get asked is, so what was your record as a boxer? And I'm like,
well, I gotta
be like 0-2. Yeah.
I got a picture on Facebook of me and Sydney when she was like 5.
Yeah.
And, so obviously I was in my 30s. And so they people say, "Oh, do you still look like that?" I said that was like 30 years ago. Like,
yeah. What are the chances of that? That would be Blutarsky, my friend. 0.0. Our theory. The most commonly asked question in any reunion, Andy, is what happened to you?
Yeah, well, people ask about that, but I put up 265 for 2 reps at the gym the other day.
Nice, look at you.
I feel bad for a guy with a heart problem and it's old, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean the fact that does Christian Barnard have to accompany you on these dates just in case you have another incident like you did at the airport on your way out to Vegas for the 70th? You were going to be on hand. We were looking forward to seeing you there. I'm thinking, hey, where the hell is Andy?
Yeah,
and then you were a vet scratch at the gate. Unbelievable.
I passed out in the airport. In the airport, I passed out. Oh, unbelievable.
That never looks good. I mean, that tends to panic a lot of people for more reasons than your health. They immediately think, oh, suicide bomber or something along those lines, So, that's ugly. Yeah. All right. You want to take a shot at this thing? you want to take a shot at the question?
I think it was either my uncle Yuri, but I think he's too young because Yuri's like 15 years younger than me. And he doesn't get knocked out right away. He just can't punch. That's the only problem.
He just can't.
No, he can't punch. He never had power.
Taking that punch. He just can't.
Does he have an ongoing religious conflict with being in the ring there while this other voice from God is speaking to him saying, "You are a man of peace, a man of union"?
He's a very unlikely boxer when it comes to that kind of thing because he is very deep like that. But, remember what I told you when we were at the fight? I said, how are you going to win? It's Friday night. You shouldn't be fighting on Friday night.
It's Shabbos.
The guy's he's Shabbos, and he really is a rabbi. I mean, he completed all his stuff.
He took money. I mean, he just erased all of the fundamentals that he had been practicing, those trips to Israel to put his head on the wall there and whatever. I mean, just went right out the window that night as he was getting the shit kicked out of him by Arislandi Lara at Hialeah Park.
Yeah, I mean,
but he put up a good showing, like you said, Yankee Stadium, Miguel Cotto. I mean, on like Puerto Rican Day, and there's the fighting rabbi giving a very good account of himself, while giving Cotto or exposing Cotto as perhaps being like a couple of years over the hill.
It's funny. My favorite. You got a minute? Because I got one of my greatest boxing stories.
You have a minute?
Oh, we got a couple of hours here. Yeah, I mean, we got stiffed by the Polyman and Gurgles today. What are you talking about?
There were a couple of guys that I trained with back in New York, back in Queens. The Wyman brothers. They both won the gloves. In fact, one of them went pro. You might remember Mark Wyman. You might have done a couple of his fights because he had some fights on ESPN. But anyway, his brother Mike was younger, and I worked out with him, and he took a liking to me and stuff. So we used to hang out. So there was this little strip club in our neighborhood. He goes, "Andy, you got to come with me. The waitress loves him." Right? So we go. I go, okay. Let's after we left the gym, we went to the club. So we go to the club, and the waitress comes around, and she acts like she doesn't know Mike. Like he's a hole in the wall, like she had no recognition of him, just the same as me. And then all of a sudden he goes, "Oh wait," and he takes out his teeth, and she goes,
No.
It was great. It was a great story.
That's you would think it would have the opposite impact, but nonetheless, that's a good story. All right, well, we're going to send you a Landlubbers gift certificate courtesy of Mike Lubitz just for participating on the show. And we owe you about 7 others, so you and Lenny can get together and buy the place. That's going to be funny when you and Lenny the Chronic line up there at Landlubbers and tell Sufreen that you're executing a leverage buyout, which is right out of your neck of the woods there with the financial stuff you do, and it's all on gift certificates.
I was there Saturday, or I was there over the weekend one night, and I saw Alex. I hadn't been there for a while because COVID and being I was sick and all that. But the food's actually better than it ever was. There was a little while where I wasn't that good with the food. The food has totally improved. I mean, it's really it's improved. It's good, really good.
It's always good. I mean, so if it's better than ever, that's good news. All right, I'll see what I can do. I'll put in a call to Al Polyak or many of his people there and see if we can squeeze you into the show.
At the very least, I'll see you tomorrow night. I mean, I'm gonna come anyway, so
nice.
We'll just
all right.
we'll do the worst.
Sounds good, my friend.
All right,
very good.
Well, Andy, thanks.
All right, lucky winner here in the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. He never said who the guy was, did he? He kept implying that it was the fighting rabbi Yuri Foreman, which is nice because who would have thought that? What would they have? Did they have 4, 5 boxing cards at Hialeah Park? Was it that many?
I went to 2. I don't know how many they ended up having.
All right. I mean, the next one's going to be just absolutely great. I love the passion, too, with which they stage these events. It's not like, okay, yeah, we got boxing over there on the side. They really get into it. They make it a heck of a lot of fun. It's just a great evening all the way around. So make sure you get your tickets. HialeahPark.com is where you can find it. But and always, a spectacular. And Andy was out there. I like, the people that aren't afraid to filter into the casino after the bout. Right? Yeah, you're going to be waiting for your car a little while at the valet. They're backed up pretty good. Why not just spend some time on the machines there and maybe make a ton of cash. The other thing that's good too, like you don't get pounded at the bar when you go to the boxing matches at Hialeah Park. Don't you don't have to worry about bringing like the quit claim deed for the house.
You don't get pounded anywhere. The Cuban sandwich is legit. Like, it's as good as a Cuban sandwich I've ever had. And it's like, I don't want to quote the price because people will be like, "Oh, you were wrong." But I remember
last time I was there, I paid like $9. The thing lasted me 3 days.
Okay, well,
it was great.
They're usually like
a day.
12, whatever. It's usually like a whole thing, and it was legit. It was like, what the hell? Like, I'm getting this at a casino. Like, all right. Yeah. So they're not just a casino. They think of themselves as an entertainment destination, and they do a really good job.
It really is. I mean, they do a great job. Hialeah Park, and just as we said, inherently beautiful. A great place to go. All right, we have the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. We had a couple of late scratches there, although Gurgles was on board early in the week.
Late. Yeah, it was early scratch.
I had something. They're short-staffed here at Shula's. I've got to go out there and do this event, and so he was OP, as they say in dog racing. And then the Polyman, we were wondering if he would come up to speed in terms of the minor technological advancement he would have had to make to appear with us here on the show, and that would have set everything up pretty well. But he was a late scratch, a vet scratch at the gate also, so that made it almost impossible to do the usual fanfare here. But we do love talking about Hialeah Park, and I don't know, I have to throw something better out there than that. That's kind of a lame question, isn't it?
Yes,
I mean,
if you guys
I
want to
get something that's more in the spirit of the show.
We'll do this throughout the show. I did have a couple people on the line, so sorry if we didn't get to you. I can only do one at a time. And Andy Man fooled me. I thought it was a Billy. I don't know who Billy is, but I was like, oh,
he had like the phony rabbinical accent there.
I thought a new shooter, so I was excited. So if you do want to call in, the number's up there, 954-417-0070. We'll get you on. We're going to throw in these questions throughout the show today to make sure we get our Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge on.
You want to get the feeling of it, right? I mean, we're trying to get that feeling here on the show, the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge on the Defo Show. Yes. I'm Jeff Deforrest. He is Mike Lubie. Lubitz. Tomorrow, I can guarantee you this, and I don't know if I can guarantee it, though, in terms of, once again, you think Jersey Kyle went out there and actually copped like a laptop computer so he can do this thing like, the way it's designed to do?
No way.
That would be great. A Deal Volkswagen Degenerate Friday brought to you by the people at Gulfstream Park. And that's going to be a lot of fun. Also, we have our handicappers and the professor. I would imagine.
I have to check what he did.
The professor buried the people last week. He gave out one game. He gave Army out laying 7 against Navy.
Wow.
And also was inclined. And this, again, I mean, it defied all of the common wisdom that you would have had about
he did
this
over-under, right?
This game, yeah. He mentioned, he'd be inclined to take a shot with the over. And, of course, the game went under, and the total was pretty tepid, as you might expect with Army, Navy. I mean, not exactly explosive professional-style offenses that these guys are running there. And it is amazing. I don't know how you can have all of these military service academies and they don't have one guy who can throw in the entire military. There's nobody with college eligibility that actually can throw a ball more than 3 yards down the field. And almost everything is to the sidelines. Like everything is a guy running to his right, running. And then at the last second, he throws a very lame Joe Cap type of pass that is bobbled and falls out of bounds harmlessly, and we come right back to the line of scrimmage for 2nd and 10. And that's it. And the commitment to the pass, the coach panics. You know what? Only 3 things can happen when you pass the ball. 2 of them are bad. And in our case, all 3 of them are bad because we're not going to get any completions. So the game goes under, and Navy, surprisingly, even though they're like 3-8 going into this ball game against an Army team that's going to one of these schmenky ball games, and they had been scoring like a juggernaut, Army, surprisingly, this year. So there was good reason to believe that Army would prevail by a wide margin, and the game would easily go over. And, of course, Navy wins outright, getting 7 points, and the game goes, substantially under the total that was out there by the bookies who, I don't know, did they take a bath on that thing? No, the chalk players all, they were walking right off the edge of the pier there. No, Joe, I'm not coming back. All right, we're coming back, though, with more here on Ion Channel. Great to be with you, the Defo Show. Jeff Deforrest, Mike Lubie, Lubitz. It's the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. I'm going to dig up something here in terms of a reasonably challenging question.
Let's do it.
And toss it out there in the next hour of the program here. So we'll do that, and they'll give you a chance to win it. A prize, the Landlubbers gift certificate, 954-417-0070. Wow, I mean, I can't believe how silent it is in South Florida when you had these once traditional and bitter rivalries And now you have nothing, right? Dolphins, Jets,
Oh,
nothing.
the Dolphins and Jets are playing? Oh, geez, I didn't even know.
Jets coming to town.
Oh, God, it's here.
Wow.
I didn't even know.
I miss those days. I really do. When you could do a sports talk show in town, literally on Monday, flip open the microphone and go, Dolphins, Jets. And no matter how many phone lines you had, in most cases, it was like eight phone lines were available. All of them would be lit up the entire time with people cursing each other out.
I didn't even realize that's funny.
Dolphins, Jets, yeah. No passion associated with this rivalry anymore whatsoever. Just completely wiped out. Same thing when the Heat play the Knicks. The Knicks making a little sniff. Although, what happened? The bloom is off the rose. Lubie, is that a fair statement? Leon Rose came in there and he hired Thibodeau, and the Knicks had a good season last year. And Julius Randle was a legitimate conversation piece, at least for a most valuable player. He looked great, and everything was on the upswing. And then this Rose goes out and gets Evan Fournier, the Flying Frenchman, from the Boston Celtics in free agency. Evan Fournier, and his other big move, Kemba Walker.
Yeah,
Fournier, horrendous season so far. I mean, just an inconsistent and downtrodden mess. And Kemba Walker does not get off the bench even in garbage time.
That's my favorite.
Garbage time, Lubie.
He went from like starting all this fanfare to he's not even in the rotation.
That's the complete rotation. The rotation when they're down 37 with a minute and change to go. And the coach says, okay, last 5. And he doesn't even get off the bench then. I mean, so Leon Rose, who was lauded as a brilliant executive and orchestrated the turnaround of the Knicks, and the Knicks are in great hands right now. And not to say that everybody doesn't make mistakes, but these are 2 bricks, are they not, in terms of roster improvement?
Well, and what's his name? RJ Barrett, who is supposed to be a star in this league when you're drafted as high as he is. John Morant's a star. Zion, we think, is.
We don't know about Zion. I mean, so far, Zion is kind of, unfortunately, useless.
He can't stay healthy ever, and he looks bigger and bigger every time you see him. But RJ Barrett has not gotten better at all. Like the guy.
He started out the season very, very well, though, Louie.
That's what he does. Like, he has his flashes, but then he regresses back to the mean, and his mean should be higher. Like the kid is a legit talent, and he's like their 3rd or 4th best player on a roster that's like an 8th seed. Like
RJ Barrett is almost as disappointing as Justice Winslow was.
Almost.
And it's mostly because you could have had Devin Booker instead of Justice Winslow. But yeah, I mean, he started out the year, though, looked like he was going to be a polished player. And they were all talking about his great work ethic and how he had made these tremendous advances. His 3-point shooting had improved. And so he was having a pretty good start to the season, but of late really hasn't done much of any significance. And the Knicks are on the downside of 500, I believe, at this stage of the season after picking up, I mean, all of this conversation about how wonderful it was going to be there under Leon Rose, and he makes 2 complete, total general manager type of blunders by getting Kemba Walker, and then I don't. Is that even a doghouse that Walker's in with Thibodeau?
I mean,
no, you wouldn't even treat a dog.
He wishes
the way you treated me. All right, we're coming back with more. Just getting going here on the Highland Park Trivia Challenge. Jeff Deforrest, Mike Lubitz on the Defo Show. Good to have you thinking about getting to Highland Park for the holidays. That's going to be a good time. Holiday dinners. I'm telling you, it looks so great on the webpage there, highlandpark.com, that you would want to make your reservations and plans right now. And if you're booking a holiday party, wow, they do a tremendous job with their catering there. Absolutely fantastic. And then, of course, we're all excited about the boxing match that we were talking about. Maybe Andy will come down to that. She got him some freebie tickets for the boxing match. And, wow, what a great time that's going to be. Ringside at Highland Park coming up in January. Check the details at highlandpark.com. All right, we're coming back with more here on the Highland Park Trivia Challenge on a Defo Show. On Channel is where you find us. You can Google the Defo Show and find all of the shows. They're archived there as well. And having a good time here and looking very much forward to big things happening in 2022 here on On Channel. Back with more in a moment. Now that.
The time.
I have to come up with a good question, Lubie. It's time.
Since day one of old school, we've had Catholic Health Services be part of our family. They are recognized as the quintessential rehab facility in the Southeast for strokes, but it goes well beyond strokes because Catholic Health Services is in the community of South Florida to help the community stay healthy. And if they're not healthy, get them healthy and get them back on their feet quicker than they could have ever expected. They do it every single day. It's step and repeat 24/7. Catholic Health Services.
Destination Sport Miami is here to revolutionize the sports landscape in South Florida. The largest indoor multifaceted sports complex in North America is on the way, with distinguished leaders of its various sports programs and unparalleled access to the finest indoor training fields and facilities. Destination Sport Miami will set South Florida apart as the destination of choice for elite athletic training and development, and for its dedication to youth programs and sports on all levels. A phenomenal concept and a powerful undertaking, Destination Sport Miami will also be an important commodity in the sports business community as well. Destination Sport Miami, its time has come. The championship meet is right around the corner at Gulfstream Park. The only place for live racing, Gulfstream's action has never been hotter. Whether it's on the track, in the casino, or part of the dining and entertainment offered at the Village of Gulfstream Park. Currently running Thursday through Sunday, Gulfstream's racing package is the best in the country, with all the top horses and people in the game pointing towards another tremendous winter season. Check out the remodeled first floor casino, open 7 days and nights a week, along with the many special events and concerts happening at Gulfstream Park. You can place your wagers from anywhere at firstbet.com. Check the calendar of events at gulfstreampark.com.
From the newly renovated sports bar to the beautiful bayside views captured at the Tiki Bar, Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill has it all. Located at mile marker 104, the Big Chill also offers waterfront dining while experiencing breathtaking sunset views of the Florida Keys. It's simply the hottest spot in the Keys to cool off. That's Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill at mile marker 104 in Key Largo. For more information, call today at 305-453-9066.
Buy or lease a house and take it to the house at Deal Volkswagen. Anna and her team make your next VW purchase or lease so easy, with new inventory rolling in daily and the biggest selection of certified pre-owned vehicles in the business. You can make your deal online at dealvolkswagen.com or visit the beautiful showroom in the classic location, 3601 Bird Road, right in the heart of the Gables. Or give Anna and the team at Deal a call at 305-448-DEEL. Jettas, Passats, Tiguans, Atlas models, and the hottest vehicle in the industry, the new Taos, all at unbeatable prices and all ready to roll off the showroom floor at the #1 Volkswagen dealership around, Deal Volkswagen. Of course, I got in about 2 in the morning last night. Do I look like Lubie? Good morning, by the way.
You look
do I
good.
look like I need a cut, man?
You look good. I'm proud of you. You're like ready. You're on time. All the guys there didn't have to stress out waiting for you. Look at you. A new day.
I'm a professional. There's no question about it. And I don't like to lose a job on the first day of the job.
That'd be good.
Which is ugly. Because we already lost one job, and we got fired by Fox. And in fact, you and I, Lubie, are the only starters that were ever beaten out for a job by Brady Quinn. If you can kind of wrap your arms around that concept.
Grab a bagel and a schmear, plus some Defo and Lubie. Welcome back to the Defo Show.
I find this surprising, Mike Lubitz, but you happen to know it to be true, that I am usually highly self-critical about performances on radio and now on this video streaming. And usually you don't think that, you end the show and you think, geez, that was all right. It wasn't all that great. But, fortunately, over my career and the long time that I've been doing this, I've had enough positive feedback to start to believe that, you know what, kid, maybe you're all right at this. Maybe this is something that you should have done all along.
In 40 years or whatever.
Whatever, yeah. I mean, I probably would have made a lousy fireman. My mother always wanted me to be a doctor or an attorney, but that was off the board right away. Yeah. I started reading a racing form in the 3rd grade. Good to have you with us, by the way, for the Highland Park Trivia Challenge. I did come up with a reasonable and somewhat challenging trivia question that we can throw out there to keep in the spirit of the game. And we've had a lot of stuff for general discussion also during this time, as we always do on a Defo show. And we had a couple of late scratches, unfortunately. The Polyman, as we said, the Polyman was a late scratch, vet scratch at the gate. And, Dave Gergles-Gergely couldn't make it today, so we thought, well, what do we do? Do we just do like our regular show? But we wanted to toss something out there to keep in the spirit of the Highland Park Trivia Challenge. So I have another question coming up here. The first one was really never answered, although we did award a prize to Andy, who's as loyal a listener as you're going to find. And obviously, I mean, no one had a better time at that fight card, except, I guess, Arislandi Lara.
Yeah, I was going to say Lara.
And Andy did, uniting with his man, the fighting rabbi, Yuri Foreman. who was featured at Hialeah Park. And wow, that was a very exciting night. Wasn't like King Kong Ortiz out there, and
Yes.
had Deontay Wilder was yelling and screaming at each other, and he had to hold him back. I think Frank Fiore was kind of like Jeff Van Gundy,
Yeah.
draped around the ankles of Alonzo Mourning, as Larry Johnson and Alonzo were throwing purses at each other. You can't say that anymore, right? Probably that would be offensive.
Probably, yeah, whatever.
Who would come after us? Gay rights people, women organizations? I don't know. Anyway, the litigation, just send it all to Jack Namer and his legal department.
No.
We'll handle it for us. Lipschitz is out.
Yeah,
he doesn't do that anymore, right? And he ate the retainer that I gave him for both 2019, 20, and 21. He said, you know what? I'm not putting in any more hours. I'm retired. He hung up his shingle as an attorney, just going straight with bookmaking with all the suckers that are out there, getting ready to bet on the bowl games that are coming up. And yet I would think if you were an astute follower of college football, couldn't you establish some kind of a reasonable edge that would get you above the 52.38% of games that you need to win in order just to simply beat the juice?
Yes, you should.
You would think that some Sharpies. That's why I'm looking forward to tomorrow's Degenerate Friday here on Ion Channel, because Mark Lawrence, no doubt, has like a zillion trends. Yep. This guy was pulling numbers out of the sky last week on the show. Now, I don't know how impactful they were. I know he liked the Washington football team, and they went down to the spread to the Dallas Cowboys.
He was 0-2, but again, his hands were tied because he likes doing the dogs. On top of that, we've pigeonholed him where he has to do the dogs, and he had no college football. So between the two, he usually can find a way to be over 500, if not.
Yeah.
Really
well, I mean, look, you're picking two games. There's a good chance, and it was Chalk City. See, that was the problem. Paulie Man was telling me they have this contest going at Magic City Casino where on the 1:00 games you have to pick a 3-team parlay against the spread, and if you hit all three, they give you like $100. So he said there were 60 entries. Get this, Lubie, 60 entries in the contest. 31 of the people were able to connect on a 3-team parlay because you can go with a couple of standard deductions every week. Literally, I mean, it's like writing off your golf clubs and your Corvette on your tax return. You can bet against the Jets and bet against the Jaguars, who we didn't even get to this. They fired Urban Meyer in the middle of the night.
Yes, we went a whole hour without talking about it.
Came knocking on his door. Urban. You're sleeping at the coach's office again, huh, Urban? Well, there's no need to bother. So now, I don't know, did they pay this kicker to come out of the woodwork like 3 months after the fact?
Yeah, I didn't realize it was August. Like I saw that.
Josh Lambo is the guy's name. And he may as well be Rambo in terms of trying to save this Shaka Khan guy the money that he's going to have to dole out to Urban Meyer to get rid of him inside of 1 year. I think Bobby Petrino was the only guy that had a worse record while being fired in the first year coming off a college job and going pro. I guess there aren't that many people in that category. Yeah, but he was 3-11 as a pro coach. What was he with the Falcons?
Falcons, yeah. And he it was going so bad, he just said, screw this, and left.
He walked, yeah. That was great. And Urban at 2-11, I think he was 3-10. Yeah, Petrino, 13 games. It was 3-10, I believe. And Urban Meyer at 2-11 leaves. And his kicker comes out, tells some reporter from the Tampa Bay Tribune that Urban Meyer, while he was stretching, kicked him in the leg. And I'm quoting this here. I'm not even making this up. You were doing a lot of cursing when you were disgusted with what happened with Deion Sanders in Florida State, Michael Lubitz. The quote, according to Josh Lambo, this is what Urban Meyer says as he kicks the guy who's stretching out. Not a love tap, he said, but not so devastating that it was like the final blow in a UFC match. Says, and Urban says, hey, dipshit, make your fucking kicks. That's what he said to the player.
That's coaching.
As he kicked him. This is the implication here.
That's motivation right there. Good job.
Is this not like lining up a bunch of women and having them accuse somebody of some form of, sexual assault, and then mysteriously it all goes away after, who's the attorney? Gloria Allred.
Allred.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Is she disgusting? Unbelievable. What a leech. Anyway, when I see her, I tend to not believe the people's case. And she's always up front there, and maybe she is, in the long run, trying to do. I don't believe she's out there to do some good. When it's the same attorney all the time, same lawsuit, same approach.
Yeah, and then she's always okay with the settlement. Always, it's like you never want to fight, like ever.
How is she always there? I mean, it's just, I look and for me, it kind of puts in question the credibility of the people that are filing the cases or lodging the complaint. But this Lambo guy, okay, so all of a sudden out of nowhere, when they need to fire Urban Meyer because things are unraveling so rapidly, it's getting so bad. I mean, that it's out there in the public. I mean, it's no longer just a thing that's behind closed doors or whatever. There's rumbling. Look, people didn't like Nick Saban when he was here, and there was good reason not to. Well, it's one of the reasons we labeled him Satan himself. Is his behavior was disgusting. It was appalling. At least according to all reports. Now, I don't know. I didn't witness him stepping over that guy that had passed out in the locker room and then just turning around, as the guy's laying on the ground and everybody's hovering around him going, we hit the field at 1, no matter what.
He's standing over him.
Okay, Newt. Yeah. All right, Vince. Well, what are you talking about? There's a guy you're passing out here. You have zero compassion for one of the players on your roster. 0.0. And then the firing of the secretaries for, even addressing him. I mean, who are you, Barbara Streisand or something?
Yeah, who cares?
Right? Streisand had that policy where, none of the people, like if there was a cleaning woman or a maid or whatever, somebody was in the room there, they were not to look at her in the eye. Do not look at me, right? Turn around, show your back. I was glad that she was left out in the rain there at Cafe Monterano for 3 hours while her hair frizzed up into some kind of elaborate Jewish afro. Unbelievable. But anyway, so this guy comes out of nowhere and starts telling a story to the Tampa Bay Tribune and says that Urban Meyer kicked him. I mean, do you think it was worth $10 million of Khan's money to get this guy to suddenly, go public with this whole obnoxious story about Urban Meyer's behavior, which I don't know. Would you put it past him? Is that something that just fooling around a coach? Is that normal professional coach to players speak? Where the guy,
dipshit
is kidding around? I don't know. I mean, the context is a whole nother thing, right? Like I might say that to you. Hey, dipshit, we're the guest today.
But that's my thing. Is like
I don't mean it, in any kind of ugly fashion, a derisive fashion.
There's strong words that people will use jokingly. Is dipshit one of them? Like, hey, jerk off. Like you'll.
I don't even think it's like in the common vernacular anymore. When do you call somebody a dipshit?
In 2021, I get it. When you're older, your 30s or whatever that age is, 20s, your lexicon is sort of settled in, and the rest of your life you sort of use very similar language. You may grow a little here and there, but the main words you use supposedly stick with you. Okay, whatever. But dipshit, I haven't heard the term dipshit in years, and if it's used, it's totally derogatory. No one's ever like,
no doubt about it.
Dipshit. Like dipshit's not one of those. Like,
hey, my buddy may over here. This dipshit. Yeah. No, it's derisive. There's no question. Is it common that a coach would say that? Talk about instilling and inspiring confidence in a guy that's probably got a very fragile psyche to begin with, as most kickers or goalies or knuckleballers.
Closers.
Usually these guys are, not exactly 100% stable, and that's why they're they're kind of off on the side there at practice by themselves. I mean, the game's on the line. All of a sudden, the camera starts showing the guy kicking a few into the net. Doesn't look like he's on his form. Then they ice the guy. I mean, and these guys put up with a lot there. So I don't know. Do you really want to say, hey, make your fucking kicks today?
Oh, that's the opposite. That sounds like
this is a guy who is teaching a course in being an inspiration as a human being. Ethics and quality, character at Ohio State. Well, we have some strict academic conditions here. That's why we're a little bit behind Michigan in recruiting. Get the out of here.
Are you kidding?
All right. So this story, do you think it was concocted out of nowhere? I mean, how convenient is it that the day they wanted to fire Urban Meyer, this story surfaced? And it wasn't, the final straw, but it was like they grasped onto this to say, there it is. Grounds for dismissal, my friend.
It is funny that this stuff always comes out like at the worst. It's never when everything's rolling. It's always in the middle of the garbage.
You couldn't fire him for being inept. You couldn't fire him for, possibly putting, such a negative impact on Trevor Lawrence that he never becomes a guy that fulfills his potential, that he's a second coming of Ryan Leaf.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Right. I mean, there are a lot of things that you would have looked at that were happening in Jacksonville that didn't look to be favorable, including the leakage of this business of him being so disparaging to his own coaches and players.
Coaches thing.
Kind of making an ass of himself on that episode in Ohio.
So,
I don't know, very, very unusual. I mean, the timing of it, the firing was not a surprise, but the fact that all of a sudden something surfaced that could possibly justify, cause for dismissal and or lessen the blow to the compensation that Urban Meyer is going to receive. And it's always, you know what, people say things in life happen for a reason, Lubie. I don't buy that. That's not always a good reason. That would be my philosophy.
They even happen for a reason. It doesn't mean it's good.
Things might happen for a reason, but they're not always good reasons. Exactly. That has been my experience. Okay. I don't know about you guys. I don't know how you fared
100%.
over the years. But I mean, this is one of those things where you look at, and if you ever wanted to think, oh yeah, well, everything balances out in the end. Here's a guy that was an outright disaster at his job in this last capacity here. Hired out of retirement from coaching, comes in, is handed a situation that you would have to think had some upside potential to it.
If you're getting Lawrence.
Completely discombobulates any progress that the Jacksonville franchise could have made while getting the number one guy, the pure cinch guy that was going to come into the NFL and be the quarterback for the next 15 years, right?
Probably a top 5 QB prospect ever. I mean, you have Elway, you had Manning, you had Luck, and
this was bigger than Tony Baselli. They haven't been good since Mark Brunell was throwing a rock there in Jacksonville.
He's been the guy people were waiting for years, Lawrence. I mean,
yes, you finally luck out, and your year when you were really bad and the number one pick was available is the one cinch guy that is there.
Yeah.
And nothing's happening with that, and your team looks like a disaster. 2 wins, and both of those. I mean, the Dolphin win was a joke.
Yeah, it was bullshit.
Handed to him. I mean, he still won a game. You can't take it away from him. And then they beat the Buffalo Bills like 9-6.
Yeah, it was
when people saw various known gamblers leaving the arena with big smiles on their face after they cashed. I mean, somebody must have owed somebody something. Unbelievable. All right, it's a Highland Park Trivia Challenge. We want to toss a question out there, and once again, the phone number is 954-417-0070. 954-417-0070 for a Landlubbers gift certificate. All right, here's the question, Lubie.
Yes.
2 current SEC members produced Heisman Trophy winners before they joined the conference. Okay? You following that?
Okay.
This was prior to becoming members of the conference. They produced Heisman Trophy winners. 2 current SEC members.
But they're in it now. They're in it like right now.
They're in the SEC now, but they weren't when they had the Heisman.
Yeah. Okay.
One is South Carolina, which had George Rogers become the Heisman Trophy winner in 1980, and they joined the SEC in 1992. Okay? So the question for the Landlubbers gift certificate, which we're going to steal from Andy. No, he's going to Landlubbers. He goes there all the time. What was the other school, and who was the Heisman Trophy winner that later joined the SEC, but weren't in the SEC when they produced this particular Heisman Trophy winner?
That's an interesting. All right, good for you.
All right, there you go. That's complicated enough that it would not be an easy one, and I would imagine most people would not know this off the top of their head. But it couldn't be an original SEC conference member.
Oh, that's what I'm saying.
It was a team that came in after the Heisman Trophy winner that they produced played for their school. Then they later on joined the SEC.
It's convoluted enough. I don't know how the fuck you'd look that up. So good for you.
All right.
I get it. I understand it. And it's convoluted.
And I know the answer.
That's even better.
Why? Because I looked it up.
I don't know how you'd look that up. So, good luck.
No, I fell into it. I fell into it while looking up something else. That's the way
question.
that it worked out. I was trying to go in a completely different direction, and I came up with this one, and I'm thinking that might carry us all the way through the Highland Park Trivia Challenge
Yeah, exactly.
and constitute what normally would be a very exciting second game.
Yes.
Anyway, what do you think about that with this whole Urban Meyer thing? It's crazy.
love it.
The guy's still going to get like $50 million unless they, this kicker story somehow, diminishes what the obligation would be because, you know what, Urban, we can argue all day about this, but, we would have had to fire you anyway because you're not allowed to abuse employees here.
Do you fire him for cause? Is that when you don't get paid? Like, because in college,
yes, they're going to try not to pay him, and it's just curious. This Lambo, story popped up the day that they were going to make this dismissal, like
That's
shortly
what
thereafter.
it is. They were on because everything else they would fire him for, he's allowed to get fired for, but you'd still have to pay him his contract.
Yes.
Right? So if you do something that's ridiculous,
$70 million. I mean, he still was owed like $60 million or something.
Oh my God.
Imagine
that.
that.
Thing's weird. Then okay, because I didn't realize that.
And you're going to tell me things happen for a reason, and good things happen to good people, and they don't necessarily happen to people that are considered slime balls. That that certainly doesn't apply to anything that was going on with Urban Meyer in this particular case. A lot of people were rooting for him to fail as a pro coach and thought that he would. I don't know that I root for anybody's total demise, although I would have to say it comes as no surprise that as a certain, lovely and talented one said to me, Urban Meyer, in terms of this sort of performance, doing sports talk and things of that nature, is the gift that keeps on giving.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Every week.
Really is. Yeah, I mean, and no surprise. Schefter was breathless last night to report this news.
Yeah, it was like 1 a.m.
Schefter. They called him up. I mean, they had to put like a silhouette of his picture up there and a voice shredder. They couldn't even identify who he was at the time because he was in such an altered state from breaking this news about Urban Meyer. But no surprise, really. All right, we have somebody who wants to attempt to answer the question here and win the game, and I'll bet he knows the answer.
I wish him luck.
I bet he does. 2 current SEC member schools produced Heisman Trophy winners before they joined the conference. One was running back George Rogers, the 1980 winner who played for South Carolina, which joined the SEC in 1992. Who was the other Heisman Trophy winner, and what school did he play for that had a Heisman Trophy winner on its roster before they joined the SEC? And we have our good friend Bob. You're on the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning, Jeff.
How are you, my friend?
The answer, I think it came to me as John David Crow, Texas A&M.
You know what? You are one of the sharpest guys that we've ever had on this show.
I was thinking A&M, but I couldn't think of who won a Heisman for them.
John David Crow, man, 1957. Wow. And, it was a fabled name in college football history, Texas A&M, and they joined the SEC in 2012. Bob, you are once again a winner, my friend, on the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. So, in fact, I think we owe you another gift certificate. We're going to have to get in touch with you, and Lubie's going to take care of it because
I got your number. I will give you a call, and we'll get your address, and I'll send you out 2 Landlubbers gift certificates. Thanks for playing.
Yeah, because I'm looking at a piece of paper here on my desk that I work off of in this makeshift studio that we're in, and it has cobwebs on it, and it actually has your name and phone number on it that I was supposed to give you a call like 6 months ago when you won. And we thank you so much for playing, and congratulations, my friend.
Well, thank you.
We appreciate it, Bob. Thanks.
All right, very good.
Very talkative.
Wow, Bob. That's a pretty good call there. I mean, look, John David Crow. Who's coming up with John David Crow on the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge? You think the Chronic knew that? I don't think so.
Chronic called in earlier, so I think he knew the other one. Him and Andy were on at the same time, and I can't put 2 people on. So
right.
I think we'll play another one. So Chronic, if you want to get on for that, we'd love to have you.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to toss another one out there. I have another one.
This one was supposed to last the whole show, but Bob screwed that up.
Who the hell would know that? Nobody.
Bob, of course, Bob. That was great. Good job, Bob. That was great.
That was not. I don't think that was an easy question.
Stump Defo. No, that was a ridiculous question. I was thinking A&M, but I'm like, in my life, A&M's always been decent, but they never won a Heisman. So I was like, okay, I don't even know.
John David Crow. I would not expect you, Lubie, at 38 or 39 years old, to have any idea who John David Crow was.
No, I never heard that.
Although, it was one of those names, like if you grew up in Brooklyn like I did, that I just, I mean, you were thinking Texas Deep South, right? Or everybody has a name like Billy Bob, Thornton or whatever. But John David Crow, yeah, very, very distinguished player, Heisman Trophy winner, 1957, and Texas A&M. And then they joined the conference in 2012, and now everybody's going to be in the SEC.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, that's why when you said now, I'm like, okay, so it's not Oklahoma, and then Texas. All right, well, good for him.
All right, we're going to have another one. I have another one for you guys. So you can give us a call at 954-417-0070, 954-417-0070. Recruiting, Lubie was all over this earlier this morning here with this Deion Sanders thing. He takes a guy named Travis Hunter, the number 1 sought-after recruit in the country, had committed to Florida State when he came out of the womb, and had been considering, all along that there was only one school that he would ever play for in his lifetime, and that would be the Florida State Seminoles. And sure enough, Deion talks him into it with $2 million of Barstool name, image, and likeness money, going to Jackson State instead. Jackson State, my friends, to play for Deion Sanders. So as Lubie was saying this morning, I hate to put it in these kind of terms, but Lubie was cursing and swearing.
I'm trying to calm down.
Like a sailor. It was a double fucking.
Yes.
FSU.
Yes, and a lot of people were saying
their own guy going against him.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, the platform that he had, right? Playing there for Bobby Bowden.
Yes.
And then, of course, the great Mike Martin, who was considered great, even though he had like tremendous ball players his entire career there. He was like 58 years. Old salty dog, baseball coach, never won the College Baseball World Series. That was always a great mystery, but highly respected. Mike Martin, who had unbelievable. I mean, how is it possible that it never happened, huh? When he had Paul Wilson on the hill there, can you imagine? My God. This guy was throwing like no hitters every game. It was amazing. Like if somebody got like a broken bat single. Of course, they were using aluminum bats, so if he broke the bat, that would have been pretty good. All right, we're coming back with more. I have another question. I'm going to dig this one up here, Lubie, and figure out a way to position it so that it makes sense for the show here. Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. Don't forget about the great people at Hialeah Park, and they're doing a tremendous job. I hope Frankie and Kim and some of the people from Hialeah Park can make it down to Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill when we get down there. Arrangements are being made with our good friend Tommy Fox as our correspondent with Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill, and I believe we'll have a date on that. And the Jimmer will be on the scene, I am told. So that'll be a lot of fun. Jack, get your crew ready with your production truck and their remote facilities that we have here with Ion Channel. And people will get to see what kind of wonderful work they do at Ion Channel as we'll bring you that show from Key Largo, mile marker 104. Great place to go, great place to watch the games. If you're looking for Dolphins, Jets, and you're thinking, I'd like to make it a little staycation, just roll down to Key Largo. I mean, it's a short pop from almost anywhere, even points in Broward County, Palm Beach. And if you're traveling to South Florida from other parts of the country or the world, Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill, mile marker 104 in Key Largo gives you everything you need to know about the atmosphere here and what it can be like to soak up the sunshine here in beautiful South Florida, where we live in paradise, and especially this time of the year. Head on down there, mile marker 104, great food and drink, great atmosphere, great vibe, and we're looking forward to being there. We had a blast last time with Jimmy Johnson on the show, and that's going to be a highlight for us if we can do it again. I'm thinking sometime in early January. There, Lubie, is what it's looking like. So we'll get everybody on board.
Let's do it.
And clear your social calendars there at Ion Channel, and we'll head down there on a Monday and do a little Dateline Dolphins with Jimmy Johnson at Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill. But anytime's a good time to go there. Still have to get Mayo, the gambling gourmet, to try the Italian fisherman pizza. He scoffs at a lot of stuff, though, Mayo. He's an interesting cat, man. He's one of those guys kind of zoned in his own area there, and you'll mention something to him, and he go, man, that's no good. So he hasn't been enthralled with my suggestions about the Italian fisherman pizza.
He doesn't get it. It's amazing. Everything I had
doesn't get it. Yeah, exactly. Who needs a bunch of scallops on a pizza? All right, we're coming back with more here. Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. I have another question for you. You can dial us up if you want to play. 954-417-0070. Jeff Deforrest, Mike Lubitz, in for the Polyman Paul Massell, and Dave Gurgles Gurgley. You should be back with us next week here on the next edition of the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. Tomorrow, Deal Volkswagen Degenerate Friday. That's going to be a lot of fun. Jersey Kyle will be with me, hopefully on the video as well. What do you think? What are the odds on that? You think he went out and got a laptop, or is he going to call you at 6 o'clock tonight and saying, I don't know how to get this thing to work?
I mean, it's going to be before 6. I'm going to reach out to him after the show. I think the odds are very low that he did what we needed to do. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I mean, it would show a commitment, right? He'd have to invest, about 3 sticks in this thing? Something like that?
Well, and he can have it. Then he'd have a laptop.
Right. Give it to his daughter. She might need a new computer. So what if he only uses it once? It's worth it, right? To make the show go. That would be the way to go, right? To whatever investment it takes. That's the way we're looking at it. We're glad Amy and the people at Ion Channel are looking at it that way too. All right, back with more in a moment on the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. Another challenging question coming up here, and we welcome your calls and attempts to answer it for the Landlubbers gift certificate. Although you have to disqualify Lenny from any Landlubbers steam that we have. Any strip there from Landlubbers? I mean, enough's enough.
At least for now. At least take a break. Not just
954-417-0070, the number to call. Back with more on the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge in a moment. Now that.
The time.
Don't forget about those holiday dinners, too, Hialeah Park. Website's dynamite, by the way, and has the boxing information also. So, HialeahPark.com, the way to go. 8:35 on the East Coast here.
It's the Gambling Gourmet for Cafe Seville in Fort Lauderdale. It's one of my favorite places. It is old school joint that's serving Spanish and classic continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly setting. It's at 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. They're open every day except Sunday for dinner, starting at 5 p.m. You go in there, you see Joey and his better half, Sally. They are giving the greatest in service. And the food, oh my gosh, it's paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, stuffed veal chop. They serve this great, fantastic, warm sourdough bread. Go to Cafe Seville in Fort Lauderdale and tell them that the Gambling Gourmet sent you.
Hey, folks, Tony Segreto here. What if I told you you could go to a great restaurant, feel completely safe because their COVID protocol is unmatched, have an amazing meal, have a great time. When the bill comes, you won't get sticker shock. You're going to say, that's too good to be true. No, it's not, because I'm talking about Texas Roadhouse. Great family atmosphere, great atmosphere for a couple, great atmosphere if you just want to go by yourself and watch a game and have the coldest beer in town. And while you're doing that, have the best bread in town. All at Texas Roadhouse. Everything you get there is fresh every day and made sure it's served at your table, hot and ready to go. And the best part is you don't get sticker shock because the prices are amazing. Texas Roadhouse.
Destination Sport Miami is here to revolutionize the sports landscape in South Florida. The largest indoor multifaceted sports complex in North America is on the way, with distinguished leaders of its various sports programs and unparalleled access to the finest indoor training fields and facilities. Destination Sport Miami will set South Florida apart as the destination of choice for elite athletic training and development, and for its dedication to youth programs and sports on all levels. A phenomenal concept and a powerful undertaking, Destination Sport Miami will also be an important commodity in the sports business community as well. Destination Sport Miami, its time has come.
Since day one of Old School, we've had Catholic Health Services be part of our family. They are recognized as the quintessential rehab facility in the Southeast for strokes, but it goes well beyond strokes because Catholic Health Services is in the community of South Florida to help the community stay healthy. And if they're not healthy, get them healthy and get them back on their feet quicker than they could have ever expected. They do it every single day. It's step and repeat 24/7. Catholic Health Services.
Buy or lease a Taos and take it to the house at Deal Volkswagen. Anna and her team make your next VW purchase or lease so easy with new inventory rolling in daily and the biggest selection of certified pre-owned vehicles in the business. You can make your deal online at dealvolkswagen.com or visit the beautiful showroom in the classic location, 3601 Bird Road, right in the heart of the Gables. Or give Anna and the team at Deal a call at 305-448-DEEL. Jettas, Passats, Tiguans, Atlas models, and the hottest vehicle in the industry, the new Taos, all at unbeatable prices and all ready to roll off the showroom floor at the #1 Volkswagen dealership around, Deal Volkswagen. Florida, which is in the state of Florida, has been in the Stone Age forever. I mean, we're still operating by blue laws. I don't even know if you can buy a beer before 12 o'clock on a Sunday. I'm not sure what religious cult is responsible for the legislation that takes place, but essentially Florida is structured this way. We're here in South Florida, which is very hip and up with modern times. And once you get, would you say, north of Palm Beach, Mike Lubitz, West Palm Beach, Florida, for those unfamiliar with the geography of the state, if you get like 30 miles out of town here, forget about it. It's hillbilly city. You're hearing banjo music and somebody's telling you to squat down like a pig when you pull up to the Waffle House. It's just the way it is.
The modern day odd couple, Defo and Lubie, are on now. It is, of course, the Defo Show.
Certainly having a very good time with you. Jeff Deforrest, Mike Lubie, Lubitz, the Defo Show here. It's a Thursday edition of Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge, although, albeit a hybrid edition of the Trivia Challenge with the scratch of Dave Gurgles Gurgley and the late scratch, the late vet scratch at the gate of the Polyman Paul Massell. So we've been conducting a few examples of the kind of trivia questions that we normally pose here on the show, and very generously, the allotment of prizes significant here because this will be the third one that you're willing to offer up, Mike Lubitz. How many of these gift certificates did you pilfer off of Alex Sufrene?
Remember last week we only did one. Remember last week because we did the one game. Because Sufrene Man, Landlubbers is great to give us 2 a week, right? So last week we only did one. So there's an extra one that we can give away, and we're here. People are calling. We'd love to give you one.
All right, Kate. I'm going to keep the theme going with the bowl games on tap and beginning tomorrow. A couple of bowl games, albeit somewhat obscure and lame ones. The greatest ever was the Poulon Weed Eater Bowl. What was played on artificial turf. That was always my favorite.
That's the best.
Oxymoronic situation about bowl games. Clemson going to the Cheez-It Bowl. My God.
And their class is like 17 or 18. It makes me so happy. He's bitching about Dabo. It's so great when Dabo and Nick,
he's lost everybody. He's lost his mind, hasn't he? Quarterbacks are leaving, offensive, defensive coordinators.
It's like the transfer portals, the ruination, and the NILs, the ruination. It's like everything's ruination now, huh, Dabo?
Yeah. It was no problem when they were just doling out cash hand over fist to various recruits to convince them to go to what could be considered a collegiate hellhole there. And, ending up at Clemson, right? That was one rough place. I call it a couple of basketball games at Little John Arena they have. And it's sort of down the same sorted path that the football stadium is. You go down this dirt road that goes down a hill. It's one lane. And you're thinking, wow, I mean, you can hear the Deliverance theme emanating from the woods surrounding the arena there. And they're thinking, who would really want to go to this place? I don't know. Nothing against any Clemson alum out there. Sure, they're all very fine people. Weren't they part of that Orange Bowl celebration that we had that time? Clemson versus West Virginia?
They were wearing shorts and sandals in the middle of South Beach. It was amazing. It was so phenomenal.
Yeah, at some foo-foo restaurant there where it was like $117 for medallions of mahi-mahi.
Fit right in.
Well, I could have bought the whole raccoon for that. Okay, Elmo. Enjoy your time here in South Florida.
Jesus.
No, that was funny. I mean, it wasn't exactly your South Beach crowd that you would typically find there, maybe deciding whether or not to dine at Prime 112 or one of the other, fine restaurants and establishments that are in that area. All right, Highland Park Trivia Challenge. Here we go, Lubie. Are you ready? And we'll throw out the phone number here and one more challenge for you guys today on the show, just to keep in the theme and the spirit, the holiday spirit of the Highland Park Trivia Challenge and all the great things that go on at Highland Park, including the champion simulcasting room. Wow, that was great. A Silky Sullivan close by the winner of the handicapping contest that they just had there last Sunday. Spectacular. Nice. Everybody high praise for the way it was conducted. That's the way things roll at Hialeah Park. You can roll into the show at 954-417-0070, 954-417-0070. Okay, it's kind of a funky one, and this would be one for Big Al, who's a loyal listener of the program, and also the Greek, our good friend the Greek, with whom I spoke yesterday.
Nice. I haven't talked to the Greek in a while.
During a euphoric moment where, it used to be that way with cocaine, right? You would call everybody that ever said hello to you in your lifetime and tell them you loved them. And then the next day when they called you and said, hey, that was awfully nice of you to tell me that you love me. Did you mean it? And you're like, huh? Who's this? Because you meant none of it. I mean, it was very Urban Meyer-esque. How could we get on Urban Meyer for being a complete phony when we've basically been that our whole lives ourselves? People, let's be honest with each other. No, there are people out there of integrity and decency, and unfortunately, we don't run across that many of them here on the show. Okay, so this is some numerology. Big Al knows numbers. The Greek knows numbers. A lot of people they want to be challenged, like, hey, give me anybody's numbers. So you go New York Yankees, number 7. All right? Oh, Mickey Mantle. They come up with it right away. So here's the way it starts. 3 of the SEC's Heisman Trophy winners wore number 2 on their jerseys. 3 of them did. Auburn's Cam Newton, when he won the Heisman Trophy. Did you dispute that Cam Newton went to Auburn earlier in the program? I thought I said something about that, and you said, no, that wasn't Auburn.
The money he got, remember, he was getting money from teams before he even went there.
Oh, okay. You don't think he got any money from Auburn either?
Auburn probably, exactly. But I think Ole Miss or Mississippi State was the one that's supposed to give him like $250,000. And then he ended up still going to Auburn. We don't even know. I don't even know what Auburn gave him. Auburn gave him a whole nother.
Well, I mean, you would imagine that there was a substantial amount of capital consideration that also went along with his agreement to just stiff everybody else who had given him money and go ahead and take your offer. All right, so these guys were number 2: Cam Newton, Johnny Manziel, and also running back Derrick Henry.
Yes,
Derrick Henry, who once he went out of the Titans lineup there, you saw what happened to your man Ryan Tannehill. Right? Fell apart. So all worthy. Okay, so 2 guys now wore number 7 that were Heisman Trophy winners. One was the great Pat Sullivan. Who was the other who wore the mixed number there, number 7, that won the Heisman Trophy from the SEC? Pat Sullivan was one. The other was, all right.
I don't know.
And I'm going to say that I don't think this one is as difficult to get as the other question was. But if you have that answer, who was the other Heisman Trophy winner besides Pat Sullivan that wore the number 7 on his jersey while playing in his collegiate career? You can give us a call for a Landlubbers gift certificate at 954-417-0070. 954-417-0070. Should I toss out that true-false question I always ask about Gina Rodriguez? Being the daughter, I every time I flash back to that event there in Barranquilla, Colombia, it makes you think, oh, okay, no matter what, I mean, even if I've only been on the fringes of certain things, it always led to, living an interesting life, a very interesting life. It is not Spurrier, by the way, Andy. It is not Spurrier.
No, did he wear? I don't know what number.
I don't think Spurrier wore 7. No, I'm going to say no, but that is not the answer.
To the other guy, they wore 7 then.
Pat Sullivan, Tebow didn't wear 7, right? Tebow, what was he, 16 or something?
I don't remember his number, but it wasn't 7.
Yeah, it wasn't 7. The Mick. One other guy besides Pat Sullivan won the Heisman Trophy, wore number 7 on his jersey. Who was that person? You can give us a call at 954-417-0070. But yeah, Gino Rodriguez, when he stopped that fight in the 11th round, Kendall Holt versus the hard-hitting Colombian Ricardo Torres at the Salon de Jumbo ballroom in Barranquilla, Colombia, which is a pretty good fight town. They had a guy there that actually fought here and was involved with my buddy Albert Davila that I often speak of as the guy that I think had one of the greatest sports stories of all time, relatively almost completely unknown, because people around the country didn't make a big deal of boxers in the really lower weights unless you got down to like 135 in Duran. But if you were featherweight, bantamweight champion, you didn't really get that kind of recognition around the country, even when there were only 2 champions in every division. But there was a guy from Barranquilla named Miguel Happy Lara who fought a couple of times here in Miami also. And he was such a huge star that it actually is like a great boxing environment there. They really get into their Colombian fighters. And this Ricardo Torres was one of them. Gino Rodriguez, the referee, steps in and stops this fight when, if they go 12 rounds, they're in like the 11th round, Lubie, late in the 11th round. And the challenger, Holt, who was from Patterson, New Jersey, who I got to know a little bit by the pool there before the match. And I really liked the kid. People criticized him. They said he wanted to be the poor man's Roy Jones at 140 pounds. And he did fight a little bit like Roy Jones did. A little bit of flash and this and that, but maybe not the big knockout punch that you would normally, equate with that type of talent and speed. And he's knocking the crap out of this guy the entire fight. And then one punch lands from Ricardo Torres, kind of knocks him back a little bit. Whoosh, here comes the ref. Step in and stop it. Richard Steele time. You were thinking, well, what is this? Tyson versus Donovan Razor Ruddock? Get out of here. You can't stop this fight now. And he did. And then, the Colombian fans, to their credit, I guess they realized that this was just a travesty. And even though their guy won, they started pelting the ring with bottles and cans. So this guy nearly got us killed, this Gino Rodriguez. He later, ironically, very much under the suspicions that we have about this Josh Lambo situation with Urban Meyer, became an official, an executive with the World Boxing Council.
Of course he did.
A fine organization of immense credibility and respect. So you think that one, the fix was in for the Colombian fighter? Possibly so, right? The minute there's even a moment of peril, you're going to stop the fight, Gino. And then, oddly, his daughter went on to become, is like an Oscar-winning actress, Gina Rodriguez. Same guy that we were cursing out on a plane. You almost got us killed, Gino. How much money did you take for that? Crazy stuff. So that's always my true-false question, right? Is Gina Rodriguez the daughter of boxing referee Gino Rodriguez? And indeed she is. A handsome guy, too, out of Chicago. And oddly, like, you only see him now in the ring there, and he's in the background with the guys that are all, passing the cash around as a World Boxing Council official. You never see that. They never shoot above the waist. You notice that when they have the guys in the ring?
Yeah, it's always like their feet.
Yeah. You don't see anything of that nature going on. All right, who is the other guy who wore number 7 as a Heisman Trophy winner? He was a Heisman Trophy winner, wore number 7 during his collegiate career. One was Pat Sullivan, the Auburn quarterback, Pat Sullivan. The other was, dial us up if you have that one. I don't know if we're going to get it before we hit the end of the show here, Lubie. It might be tough. You're going to die when you hear the answer. It's like so obvious. 954-417-0070. 954-417-0070. I will say this, that when people mention that this guy won the Heisman, everybody is like gassed, going, how did that guy win the Heisman?
Yeah, I don't know.
And it relates to Spurrier. So there are a couple of clues for you people. For Landlubbers gift certificate.
Now I know.
Now you know. Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. Been kind of interesting here, even without Gurgles and the Polymen, although we need those guys
Yes, be nice
to really conduct the game in its true raw essence and true, pageantry and splendor. So hopefully they'll be both with us again next week on the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. We're coming back with more. Don't forget, and we can't emphasize this enough, that boxing is going to be sensational. And the holiday dinners, treat your girl right, treat your family the right way, treat your company the right way, your corporation. Look into this. They have all kinds of catering and dining opportunities for the holidays with a lot of specials. I think I saw something like $55, Lubie, on New Year's Eve dinner. I hope I'm right about that, because it seemed preposterous, right? You can't even get an appetizer, like one shrimp and a glass of cheap champagne for $55 most places. Hialeah Park, full splendor, man, and they're going to have just a spectacular time out there. They really know how to do these things right. So check that out at HialeahPark.com for me, and make your reservations now. Book it there. Jack, don't be afraid. Book it for the company. And
you can do a New Year party.
I love a Christmas party where I can disappear and gamble, man. I mean, that's you couldn't ask for much more. All right, we're going to come back and wrap things up. Who else wore number 7? Relates to Spurrier, Heisman Trophy winner, besides Pat Sullivan, of the two that have won the Heisman Trophy, 2 players that have won the Heisman Trophy while wearing the number 7 as their jersey number in college during their career. Who is the other one besides Pat Sullivan? That's the question for a Landlubbers gift certificate. 954-417-0070. Back with more in a moment on the Defo Show and the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. Now that.
The time!
You guys better hustle and call in on this thing. Play the ponies in style at Champions, the outstanding simulcasting room at beautiful Hialeah Park. Yes, the grand old lady of thoroughbred racing has never been more vibrant, and you can wager on the races from the top tracks around the country while enjoying a cocktail at the Brass Rail Bar or any of the fine food served throughout the facility. If poker is your game, you're covered in style, and you can play all your favorite Vegas-style games, including blackjack, craps, and roulette in Hialeah Park's sizzling hot casino. Get a player's card when you walk through the door for all kinds of generous amenities, including our favorite, free play, when you come out to the ultimate casino and entertainment destination, Hialeah Park.
Hey, folks, Tony Segreto here. What if I told you you could go to a great restaurant, feel completely safe because their COVID protocol is unmatched, have an amazing meal, have a great time? When the bill comes, you won't get sticker shock. You're going to say, that's too good to be true. No, it's not. Because I'm talking about Texas Roadhouse. Great family atmosphere, great atmosphere for a couple, great atmosphere if you just want to go by yourself and watch a game and have the coldest beer in town. And while you're doing that, have the best bread in town. All at Texas Roadhouse. Everything you get there is fresh every day and made sure it's served at your table, hot and ready to go. And the best part is you don't get sticker shock because the prices are amazing. Texas Roadhouse.
Hey, it's Mike Mayo for Even Keel Fish Shack, corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard at Lauderdale by the Sea. It's my favorite place now for great seafood in a casual beachfront setting. They've got happy hour 4 to 7 Monday through Friday. They've got great dishes like grilled oysters and oysters on the half shell, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, octopus. They also have burgers and chicken for those who don't like the seafood. They're open 7 days a week for lunch, dinner, and weekend brunch. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack. Go say hi to Dave and Brad and tell them the Gambling Gourmet sent you.
Recently, we realized it's not just hurricane season that can hurt us. Any time of year, things can happen to your home or business. And the insurance company can be your friend, but they also can be your enemy. Horizon Public Adjusters, Justina Testa, are here for you to help this process go so much easier. Before you call the insurance company, call Horizon Public Adjusters and Justina Testa at 954-809-8752. Would you go into court without an attorney? So why would you go up against an insurance company without Horizon Public Adjusters and Justina Testa? 7 to 10 times more money recovered with a public adjuster than if you went on your own. If there's no recovery, there's no fee. Give them a call at 954-809-8752. Why go up against insurance companies alone when you can have Horizon Public Adjusters and Justina Testa on your side?
Buy or lease a Taos and take it to the house at Deal Volkswagen. Anna and her team make your next VW purchase or lease so easy with new inventory rolling in daily and the biggest selection of certified pre-owned vehicles in the business. You can make your deal online at dealvolkswagen.com or visit the beautiful showroom in the classic location, 3601 Bird Road, right in the heart of the Gables. Or give Anna and the team at Deal a call at 305-448-DEEL. Jettas, Passats, Tiguans, Atlas models, and the hottest vehicle in the industry, the new Taos, all at unbeatable prices and all ready to roll off the showroom floor at the #1 Volkswagen dealership around, Deal Volkswagen.
Steven, go ahead.
Always great to talk to you, Mick. And hey, Coach, I can't top mine 35 years, but I'm going to be missing my dad. I lost my dad, but he was a 25-year. We were season ticket, so it's going to be bittersweet for me to walk in there Saturday night. But we lost a lot of Gators this year, but I know they're looking down there. Looking forward to seeing these Gators Saturday night, Coach. And how many times you going to give them more Jeff Dibs down here from Lake County? And best of luck and go Gators, man.
Enjoy your trip to work with lots of laughs thanks to Defo and Lubie. Now on the Defo Show.
Another clue to what up until that point has been an unsolved mystery, but I think it's about to be solved here right at the end of the show, and that's great. And we appreciate all you guys hanging in there with us here on this unusual edition of the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. Without the Polymen and Gurgles, just not the same. 25 years with those cats, and it's always been a blast. And Gurgles predisposed to a golf engagement that he had, a tournament that he's hosting there at Shula's. Polyman with a long list of medical appointments that today was his only day he was able to make, so unfortunately not able to be with us today. We asked the question of the two SEC players that have won the Heisman Trophy that wore the uniform number 7. We gave you Pat Sullivan as one. We asked whom, I guess, was the other. Would that be the proper...
Sure.
Use of the word whom? Whom was the other? The other was whom. No, it has to be the object of a preposition there. The other was whom. Or something like that.
Sure.
I don't know. Whatever it is. And we have Alan on the line. Wants to take a shot at this thing, number 7. Lubie kind of gave it away there with that clip from Guider Hotline. But Alan, welcome to the show. Thanks for calling in here on the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge.
Hey, thanks, guys. How's everybody doing?
Doing well, sir.
Doing great. Yeah, I'm glad you guys found us here on Ion Channel. And who was the player? I think I'm pretty confident you know the right answer.
Yeah, Bill Gators, Danny Warfel. I was actually at the championship game when they beat Florida State in '96. So,
I was crying in my room.
That was awesome.
Yeah, no, Danny Warfel. And, it was great because it illustrated the genius of Spurrier. Because Warfel would throw passes that had such trajectory on them, they invoked the infield fly rule. And it'd be 5 guys they would illustrate when they had the overhead shot. And they were all wide open yelling, here, 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 waving their arms like you did in the Sandlot, when you were standing in the end zone by yourself. Great stuff.
Yeah, he nearly hit the top of the Superdome a couple times. But
yeah, you thought helium was in the ball. I mean, it was crazy the way he was able to do that. And he wins the Heisman Trophy because they had a great team. And obviously he was a leader of that squad winning a championship. All right, thanks, Alan. Hang on the line there. Lubie's going to get you that Landlubbers gift certificate. Appreciate you calling in on the show. Thanks for following us here on Ion Channel.
Appreciate it.
All right, that was great. Unbelievable, Lubie. Got that one at the very end. Yeah, Danny Warfel.
Well, once you said the Spurrier connection, that's when I was like, oh, okay. And if I got it, I'm like, someone's going to get it now.
You would think, yeah. Danny Warfel. Well, you forget about him being a Heisman Trophy winner because it's kind of like the Gino Toretta Heisman, right? Didn't he win that, not necessarily even being the best player on his team? I'm not sure who else would have given it to.
fifth or sixth best player on his team, maybe eighth if you really get down to the defensive player, because that unit was loaded. Warfel, I would say, was top 5. I mean, Riddell Anthony, Ike Hilliard, Jacques Green, and then they had a ton of guys on defense. But Warfel was solid. Like he really led that team pretty good, as much as it pains me to say it.
All right, we have to run. It was a lot of fun, the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. As we said, we missed the Polyman and Gurgles today, but we still had a lot of fun being with you. And it's always a pleasure talking about the great people at Hialeah Park. Dinner reservations on HialeahPark.com. Boxing match, the tickets in January available. HialeahPark.com. Going to be dynamite all the way around. Any show they put on there is just absolutely spectacular and a great place to get in the spirit of Christmas, which is now a week and 2 days away.
Yeah, almost here.
Christmas. And, of course, New Year's follows the week after that. Both on a Saturday. Kind of a bummer in terms of days off. But
you don't get an extra day off.
Yeah. My horoscope today actually said, just step away from everything, man. Don't put too much heat on yourself. You're putting too much out there. But later on today, too, if you're a recruiting person and they're interested in the whole college football scene, Chris Landry will be our guest on our Believe podcast for today. It's After Hours with Defo and Lubie. Although I think you switched that to After Hours with Lubie and Defo.
It's After Hours with Defo and Lubie. I haven't arranged anything. I'm happy just to be involved. And Chris Landry, a current and former NFL and college football scout, big into high school recruiting, will be with us there, and he's great.
Yeah. Well, again, this whole Deion thing, I hope you won't curse and swear too much like you did.
I'll try not to.
In alienating everybody that listens to the show at the beginning of this show. All right. Having that liberty, I mean, you can't yell out fire in a movie theater. No, it's okay. I mean, to punctuate a little bit of the language here once in a while, I think is perfectly acceptable and understandable. But once you got going on your rant there about Florida State getting screwed, it was another Joe Pesci scene at a casino. Yeah. As he was kicking the crap out of the guy that he stabbed in the eyeball with the pen. All right, we'll see you tomorrow. It'll be a Deal Volkswagen Degenerate Friday. That's brought to you by the people at Gulfstream Park, and a lot of fun to do. Jersey Kyle, hopefully with us visually, as well as on the audio side. The Gambling Gourmet Mike Mayo also is part of the program, and we'll have Mark Lawrence and a professor on the college bowl games, and what's on tap in the pros with Mark Lawrence as well. So looking very much forward to that. Always a lot of fun to be with you on a Deal Volkswagen Degenerate Friday. Always great being on Ion Channel, ionchannel.com. Google the Defo Show. Tell your friends about it. Sounds like a lot of new people were catching on to what we're doing here with the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. Thanks to the people at Hialeah Park for sponsoring the show. And also Mike Lubitz, tremendous job as always. I'm Jeff Deforrest. Thanks for tuning in, audio and video wise. And we'll see you tomorrow at 7 as we leave you now that.
The time.
9:02 here on the East Coast, my friends.
Let's go to eat a damn snack.
Look what they done to my soul.